I am not drinking tonight.
I got coffee.
I had coffee too.
If I have a beer right now, I would fall asleep.
That's the problem. I would fall asleep.
Yeah. That's not taste good at all.
Kingsley wants to know if we adjusted our time tonight so you wouldn't be up too late for your bedtime. Is that?
And I could wonder if I should send him matches to go tell him himself. I'm not happy with him right now.
Didn't you say he was on your shit list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Guardian down.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us today. Welcome to episode 77. Good year of Guardian Down cast.
I was -4.
We're a couple dads that talk about all things in the Destiny universe, and we interview content creators and community members to find out more about them. We're the show that hopefully makes you laugh out loud in front of your coworkers. They give you that look at work. I'm your host, the Gatr. And my co-host, Mr. Hazel, is here as well. Hey, man, how's your week been? Hey, wait a minute. Do you have the ether cord stretched all the way down into the basement?
Yeah, asshat. Not anymore, actually. I ended up getting a power line adapter, thanks to Burning Wing and Kingsley, and some going back and forth with them. This is episode 1 with a power line adapter, where basically you just plug the shit into your wall, plug a router or an Ethernet cable from your router to the plug in the wall, and then you plug in another little box next to your computer or whatever you want to connect, and an Ethernet cable there, and then poof, it's all done through your electrical.
That is amazing, man. I never would have guessed that would work like that. How do they regulate that? Anyway, we could get into a technical show. How's
Not
your week?
really, because I don't know.
I don't know either. I couldn't answer the question either. How's your
Not very technical.
How's your week been, man? Everything good?
Yeah, sure, I guess. I mean, working in banking right now is an absolute disaster, because apparently H&R Block, I guess they rerouted like a couple million people's stimulus checks to them, seemingly.
Oh no!
So yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
God.
So that doesn't impact anybody.
Oh my God! It's not like people are waiting for that money.
Nah, not at all. There's nothing going on in the world that they need money for.
Jeez.
So yeah, good times all around. Aside from that, family's good. Yeah, we had my dog's birthday. So yeah, she's 9.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, of course, man. You don't celebrate your dog's birthday?
No, we don't. No, I'm sorry, we don't. Okay. Yeah. Well, my week's been pretty good. It's been, the weather's been really stable here. It's been, 70s all week, 40s, 50s at night. It's been really nice. It's a typical Florida winter week. So, I'm really happy. It's been really nice weather. Very little rain. So, but hey, before we get started here, I want to welcome back one of our favorite people. He's the gaming dad that happens to be a master carpenter and certified in mental health first aid, and just always there to keep us motivated in our Discord. He's our friend, Mr. Chris3711. How you been, sir?
This thing on?
I was going to say, did you fall asleep already?
How are you? I was 3, Hazel, in 1977.
Ah, okay.
No, the reason I say that was a good year is my brother had a 77 Firebird. You remember what those look like? Had the double rectangular headlights. I remember my brother painted it this creamy yellow color when he was little. He put a Hurst 4-speed shifter in it, and he had a souped up 350 Chevy in it, and that thing just screamed, man. And
you have a mullet?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. But my brother, and I were
a mullet. Who had a mullet on this show? I want to know.
Not me.
Lies.
No, I had
a rat still.
I had the part down the middle. I had the little preppy part in the 80s. Yeah, that was me.
My hair was parted in the middle, feathered back, and then with a rat's tail.
Exactly. No rat tail though.
See, we better be careful talking about this, because Burning Wing will get all hot and bothered.
That's too late.
My mom would kick
I sent him nudes earlier.
Well, Hey, just an overview of tonight's show, gang. First on the docket, we want to see what Chris has been up to lately, and we may have a few questions for him as well. He's going to be our first first participant in our new and further improved Fast Fire segment we call the Speed Run. Hazel's going to go over the TWAB, or not, because that TWAB is not happening this week. So we decided instead, we picked a topic in the Destiny realm right now, which I think has got a lot of people hot and bothered, and we're gonna just go around the table and see what everybody thinks about it, and I might throw an extra question in there as well, and then we're gonna answer questions from our community like we always do every week. Add 2 songs to our award-winning Guardian Downcast show playlist on Spotify, iTunes. Hey Chris, I just want to mention something, man. I went back to episode 25 when you first came on our show, and I swear to God, I'm not making this up. You bought a vehicle down that show. You went in to get floor mats for your truck. You ended up buying a new truck. And what happened today?
Oh, that, I didn't even think about that. I bought my wife a new car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, this is the new car episode.
Right?
I don't know.
Please don't ask me on next year. I don't want to buy another car.
I was going to say, man, it's been over 50 episodes since you were on last, man. So thanks for coming on tonight.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly. A year. Pretty much.
Wow.
Just over a year, right?
Just about, yeah. Yeah, so. All right, guys. We've got a lot to talk about. We'll be right back. Hey, thanks for listening to Guardian Downcast. You can find us on Twitter at Guardian_D_cast.
Or, you can find us on Instagram at Guardian_Down_cast and see what pics our weekly guests want to share with you.
Or Hazel, just visit our website at GuardianDowncast.com for all the contact information and where else you want to find us. And you can also play any past episodes you like in any order you like, right from your browser.
Don't you or me, man. Anyway, so hey, Guardians, check us out, and later, Guardians.
Toddles.
Hey, that's my line, man.
Hey, Chris. Again, man, thanks very much for coming on tonight. It's been a while since we've talked with you, and we just kind of want to catch up, see what you've been up to lately. And I know you don't have any, you've been off for the holidays here and no major projects, you've had to work on yet. So I figure we better grab Chris before he starts getting really busy. I know as it starts heating up outside, all those rich people are going to want something built for their house. So, the
holidays are either absolutely crazy for us because everybody wants you finished and out of the house, or they're kind of slow because nobody wants to start anything. So this year I kind of got lucky. We were on the tail end of everything. So I just kind of took the last couple of weeks off. It's been nice.
Very nice, man. Well, I've always wanted to ask you this question, and I never had a chance to ask you on the last show, is how did you initially find our little Discord? Because you were like one of the first people here. And me and Hazel were like, crib was crickets. How did you initially find out about us? You remember?
I think you guys made an announcement in Dad's Tales or something.
Maybe that's what it was. Okay.
And then so I followed the link over. So at that time, I was still in Guardians MH, and part of my job was maintaining the Discord server. So I was in 81 servers.
Holy crap, man.
Ooh. So every day I would go through all of them pretty much and make sure people knew we were around. So I think I just happened to scan through there at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah. That was perfect.
I've since left most of those servers just because you can't maintain that level. It's a full-time job. 80
servers, man. Yeah. I remember you came in and Hazel's like, oh my God, he says, Chris3711 just joined our Discord. The rest is history, I guess. But, well, hey, why don't you, for our people who maybe didn't listen to episode 25, just give us a rundown of, your family, your what do you do to pay the bills and stuff. We've kind of alluded to some of that, but do you mind doing that?
Yeah. No, it's fine. So I do architectural millwork, and this will be 30. I'll be going on 31 years. I think this September. Or
Nice.
actually, probably summertime. Around summertime would be 31 years.
Wow.
31 too long. But yeah, I left school early, went to work full time. And I don't recommend that for anybody else, but it just happened to work out for me. And I don't know why, but always growing up, I always enjoyed building stuff, and I thought it'd be fun. And then the area I lived in, it was like everybody was a carpenter. Like everybody you knew from that area basically was a carpenter at the time. So
Really?
I got really lucky. I started working in a high-end cabinet shop and trim install company, and I got to work with some of the best guys on the South Shore. So I was very fortunate to start off where I did because I got a really, really good free education. That's the way I look at it.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
That's priceless, man.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I mean, when I started, I made $5 an hour, and I had to pay my own taxes at the end of the year doing that.
Under the table.
So,
oh, man, that's $10.99 is rough.
Well, when you're making that little and you're pretty much irresponsible at that point,
I might have been on a few construction sites in my day. Yeah, I know how it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was a rough time for me too, because I mean, shortly after that, my mother passed away and I was thrown out of my house. So I was literally living off of that.
Oh my God.
I mean, I think at that time I was making $6 an hour.
Wow.
So I was living off of that on my own, pretty much eating ramen noodles.
It's pretty much sink or
breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
So it's pretty much sink or swim.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There was no choice. I was living in an apartment when most of my friends were either still in high school or going off to college or,
Yeah,
I was trying to...
you had to grow up fast, man.
Not die, literally.
Yeah. And as you guys can probably tell, that this gentleman is from Massachusetts. From the accent.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Can't fix that.
Now you said your wife bought a car. Obviously, you're married. You have any kids?
Yeah. Yeah. So this is actually my second wife. I have a 20-year-old son with my first wife, Christopher.
Okay.
He's a pretty cool dude. He's my inspiration for pretty much everything I do. And I was lucky enough to find Sarah. She's an amazing person. There's quite a few people in the community that actually got the opportunity to meet her at GuardianCon in 2018.
Okay. Yeah.
Drafty being one of them. She's a big fan of Drafty. They hung out quite a bit. Yeah.
Well, if anybody,
she's amazing. She's a rock.
If anybody can tolerate Drafty, then that's a keeper, right?
Yeah. No, she always asks me, "How's Drafty doing?" I'm sure he's good. He's always
awesome.
good. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, hey, one quick follow-up question to something you mentioned earlier, like, about when you were growing up and that kind of thing. What kept you motivated?
Back then, all the wrong things. So, I mean, well, yeah, I mean, it sounds funny, but really, who I was then and who I am now couldn't be any further of one doesn't resemble the other at all. So,
Yeah.
I don't think you become humble until I hope this doesn't come off wrong. You don't become humble until you realize how dangerous you really can become. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, like the lifestyle, the constant fighting, the partying, the disregard for safety, just all around dangerous,
Just kind of living on the red line.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's no reason why I should be here. I shouldn't be here. So there's literally 3 or 4 situations where you would say there's, you shouldn't be still standing.
Oh, I think we've all done a bunch of dumb stuff when we were younger. I mean, I've dodged a few bullets. I mean, I did so much racing in my youth. I'm amazed I'm alive right now. And I'm amazed I didn't kill a family or somebody. You know, it's terrible to say, but.
Oh, and especially in the cars we were in back then, they were terrible.
They had a lap belt. I mean, that's it. I mean, good luck.
Racket pin steering. And
there were no airbags, kiddies. It was a steel steering wheel that your forehead went into, you know?
That's true. I remember when the Mustang GTs first came out, the 5.0s, they're literally a Ford Escort with a 5.0 engine in it. And we lost like 4 different kids in my class from crashes and those.
Oh yeah, we've lost some in our high school back then too.
You couldn't keep those things on the road.
They had that. They had that free axle in the back. It was just like a certain kind of suspension. Nightmare. Yeah, it just had no business being on that kind of car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we talked tools last time. We're going to talk cars today. I did want to mention for Christmas, my wife did get me a 20-volt XR series versatile drill. You know,
DeWalt.
Yeah, DeWalt. Yeah, it was really nice. I was using it the other day to put new hardware on my front door. It's pretty nice. Has a little LED light. It lights up too. It's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, that's what I use is DeWalt.
Yeah.
It was Hitachi that you never wanted to sponsor, correct?
Hitachi sucks.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah. That's pretty much what I said. Yeah, Hitachi sucks.
But yeah, I have everything I use is actually DeWalt. So DeWalt makes a lot of different versions. So I use their industrial grade stuff, and they're kind of like, I don't know, they're kind of the best of the worst, I guess is a good way to put it. So
yeah,
they make a decent tool at an affordable price. A lot of the other stuff that I have in my arsenal or that we use regularly on the job is Festool. But if I buy a DeWalt drill for $300, if I buy the same one in Festool, it's $600, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, so I pick and choose because it's really, at the rate we go through some stuff, you would think automatically you buy the more expensive one, but you kind of see how you're using it, you know, so what's appropriate, how much abuse that particular piece is going to take. You know, if it's something that's going to be abused all the time and kind of thrown around, like drills is a perfect example.
Yep,
I mean, I go through a set.
A year?
You know, probably every 2 years, you know.
Okay, all right.
So to buy a $600 set instead of a $300, it just doesn't make sense. So
right. I totally took you off the path there. I'm sorry, brother.
Yeah, that's okay.
You said you had a 20-year-old son who's your inspiration.
Yeah.
Do you have any other children?
Nope.
Okay.
He has a half brother. His mother is remarried. And,
okay, gotcha.
So he's got a half brother.
Hazel's playing Destiny 2. What the hell?
What are you talking about?
Uh-huh.
No, I'm not.
Right.
I'm not. I'm behaving today.
I just saw that message on my corner of my screen on Steam. I'm just kidding you, man.
What are you talking about?
You just want to check your stats. I get it.
Well, I mean, we're going to be talking about
Steam.
Destiny. We're going to be talking about Destiny at some point.
I'll edit that out. Don't worry.
No, you can leave it in. But you can, I mean, because we're going to be talking about something, I'm sure. And we're going to need to know, like, what weapons are what, because, dear God, you know us.
Oh, are you pulling out the research card?
I am. I'm doing this all for the name of research. It's early research right now, though.
Yeah. I know we've had a little project all three of us have been working on, mainly you. Me and Hazel have just kind of watched from afar. And I don't know if we wanted to mention it here or not, but if we don't want to mention it, if we get into it and you don't want to use it, then I'll just take it out. But dude,
it's up to you guys.
How do you put a lot of energy into mental health research and awareness? And why do you put all the energy into that? I mean, does something inspire you to do this? I mean, I'm trying to figure out.
It's a really good question.
You've been putting a lot of time. I mean, we've been following everything you've been working on this, and we'll make an announcement here soon about that. But what inspired you to get into this, man?
Well, I mean, what inspired me to get involved in mental health is my son, because he suffers from bipolar 2, which really is general anxiety, OCD, depression, things like that. So I do it for him. Like I said, a lot of things I do for him. It's the least I feel that I owe him as a parent, but also, I've always said that he saved my life when I found out we were having him, because that made me, back to what I was talking about. That forced me into making life changes. And then he also saved his mother's life because she was breastfeeding. And because he was breastfeeding, it agitated a tumor to the point where it swelled up so that they were able to find it. And it turned out to be one of the rarest forms of sarcoma in the world, like 1 in 2 million cases.
You're talking about breast cancer?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and the only person in the world who's seen it and can identify it is, the guy here at Dana-Farber. So we're lucky that we even lived where we were.
Wow.
Because her initial surgery, they kept telling us it was a blocked milk duct, and she kept saying, no, there's something wrong. So the surgeon went in and just kind of shelled out the tumor. Mm-hmm. It just kind of shelled out. Mm-hmm. But you're supposed to get what they call clean margins. So a certain amount of centimeters all the way around needs to test negative, or they're supposed to keep cutting,
Right.
So he didn't do that. So because they were convinced it wasn't cancerous, and they actually wouldn't give us the tumor because they couldn't identify it. So
wow.
She went down there and said, you've got a piece of my body, so I want it, or you better call the police. So this was after a couple weeks. So she got the sample and we drove it from where we lived, or the local hospital in Weymouth. We drove it into Boston, and we had an answer in like 4 hours.
Wow.
And they're like, yeah, you need to come back tomorrow.
That just scares the hell out of me, man. The fact that doctors are nonchalant like that.
Well, this is back. He's 20, so 21, 20 years ago, pretty much.
So in the 90s, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we were getting there. Dana-Farber was there, but, now the local ranchers are much more educated. They have much better equipment. They've got much more experience.
Right.
Back then, they were just really starting to kind of open these satellite offices, and, the hospitals were kind of getting dedicated. We're just starting to get, like, dedicated cancer wings and that sort of stuff.
Right.
But again, like, a lot of people complain about living in Mass because of the cost and the taxes and that sort of thing. But, my rebuttal is always the amount of education and hospitals we have here is second to none nowhere in the country. In Dana-Farber, really the leading experts in the world, and we can drive there, so
right, sure. Now,
that's pretty cool.
How did this turn to mental health? I'm just trying to put 2 and 2 together here. I mean, did you?
So he, like I said, I felt like as a parent, I owe him anyways. But even beyond that, I've always kind of had that bond with him. Like, to me, he's a symbol of hope, right? So
sure.
He, because of the divorce and different things, he had kind of a rough run there for a while. I mean, we always did the best we could, but divorces and stuff like that, just they get messy for kids, they always do.
Yeah, they're in the middle.
So anyways, he went through some tough times, and we didn't get really too serious into it until after he had an incident, and luckily I knew what to do.
How old was he here, Chris?
He was, let's see, well, he's still in high school, so
just a
15,
teen. Wow,
16,
that's a tough
maybe.
age. That's a tough age, man.
Yeah. So, and it was completely out of his character. So he had moved back home with me. He had been home for about a year, and me and Sarah came home one day, and he was already upstairs, so I didn't think to bother him. Then actually one of his friends texted me because we have a pretty good relationship with his friends that come to the house and stuff like that. And I've always been like, if you guys need anything, here's my number. You call me, come get you, no questions, whatever.
Very cool. Yeah, it's nice.
So one of them actually texted me and said, you need to check on Chris. And I said, okay, isn't he just upstairs? And they said, yeah, just check on him. I said, okay. Oh, I went up there, and when I walked in, he was passed out on the bed, and he was beginning to throw up while laying on his back. So I grabbed him and threw him over my knees and had him on the bed so that he could get the fluids out of his throat and stuff. So, and then Sarah figured out what had happened. So he had gotten into a bottle of vodka that we used to just leave up on top of the fridge. But so I sat up throughout the entire night, and I just, I would lay him in bed, and then I would wait, and he'd start convulsing. So then I would grab him and make sure his airways were clear.
Yeah.
I did that through the night. And then in the morning we had started to talk, and we all agreed that he needed to go to the hospital. So we went to Children's and did an intake there and that sort of thing. And then, luckily I didn't panic. And I, like I said, I knew what to do. Mm-hmm. And we were lucky to get the phone call, because if I didn't get that, he probably would have suffocated.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I didn't know. I wasn't leading down to a personal note here.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay.
It's crystal clear to me now why you really are trying to help people before they get to that point.
Right. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And because the more you know, the more awareness you have, the more education you have, then the better you can see the signs, the better you can protect yourself, the better you can protect your loved ones. And really just the better you can make decisions moving on and down in your life. I mean, I believe in the fact that every person has 2, 3, maybe even 4 different versions of themselves inside themselves, but it's all about the one you feed. Whichever one you feed, it's going to be the one that comes out and can be the difference between, a happy life and, a struggle.
Ain't that the truth?
You can think you're fine and all that and still struggle and not realize, till you get the education that maybe you could be even better. So
yeah, self-talk has always been a problem of mine. I've always been really, really hard on myself. Yeah. And like you said, that's a very good way of putting it. It's whatever version of yourself you feed the most. Man, I really never thought of it that way.
We all have it. Like I said, who I used to be, I was that way because I was feeding the monster, the drugs, the alcohol, the fast cars, fast women, fast money, fast everything, because part of it was I was trying to deal with my mother's death. The other part was, I was trying to survive. And, sometimes you get forced, or you believe that you're forced into living one way in order to survive, but it's because you don't have the support to live the other way, or you don't feel like you do, So as soon as you realize it's out there, I think it gives you a lot more options.
I have 2 quick follow-up questions here.
Yeah.
One, you said you knew what to do. Were you already in mental health training back then?
No. I was in keeping my friends alive. So most of them drug addicts, alcoholics.
So you knew exactly. Okay. And how did you keep so calm, dude? I would have been hysterical if my son was in that state.
You got no choice. It's
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of kicks in, you know. And Sarah froze. She was standing there frozen in the hallway, crying and looking at me like, and I had to yell at her to get her to snap out of it.
Sure, sure.
And she was going to call 911, and I said no, which, I mean, that
Well,
I don't recommend that to everybody. Everyone, the first thing should be call 911. I knew what to do. I didn't want to go down that road because that leads to
so you had
Other
already
things, yeah.
you had already done this with friends of yours that maybe
Right.
were possibly overdosing. I got you, man. I got you.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Woo.
I've held more than one person
Wow.
on their last breath.
That's an amazing story, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I didn't know that about you. I really am.
I don't talk about it much. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I don't understand why he's so really, really put. I mean, we were working on a little project for our. We might as well announce it now. Why not? A little corner of our Discord. We're gonna have a new channel, right? Do you want to explain what it is, Chris or Hazel?
Yeah, I mean, to me, the way I view it, it's just it's educational material so that people can just doing kind of the legwork. And if somebody feels that they could use a little bit of education about mental health, or maybe there's something going on, it's got a lot of really good resources and links and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you put a lot of work into that, man. It's a lot of information.
Yeah, but I tried to keep it pretty vague, not very overwhelming, just really clean cut and dry, somewhat clinical, but with a few personal notes in there. And it's not because you guys are trying to create, or nor am I trying to recreate the server into this hospital or clinic or something. It's just something so that people can access to read over and to hit some links, maybe see some pictures of things that can help them in daily life. I think we're going to do a daily motivation section.
I like it. Yeah, man.
Yeah. So people will be able to post like the videos I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Could be just an image for the morning, something like that, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a nice, quiet place. And it's just so that we did the legwork for you and just organized it.
I like it.
And it's just a starting point for anybody if they need it to really take that information, and they can take it and run with it in their own way, or get access to the right places to get the right information. Because like anything, I mean, you can get bad information about anything. So
that's a good.
Just
idea.
trying to get you off on the right foot. So.
I like it. It's a good starting. It's a good jumping off point for someone who, and I think Hazel, you wanted. I think your name was pretty good. I like the name you wanted to call it. We Got Your Back.
Just We Got You.
We got you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I like that.
So it's basically, it's like if you think that something could be going on with you, and you need, you want to do some, you don't want to look at WebMD because you're scared of what the hell.
I've been down that path. I thought it was dying.
Exactly, right? Who hasn't? So if you don't want to go through that, then you can go ahead and this is like a kind of like a Cliff Notes version of it. And I mean, the thing that Chris did that I absolutely love is he gave it some personality with some stories and things like that as well. And it's basically just that you can read this, relate to it if if you're looking to relate with it. And then you can also, look into it more if you're like, hey, that kind of, sounds like me, and I may need some help with that. And I mean, we got you, we'll, we got this resource out there for you, and, we're here to help.
Well,
yeah.
I thank you, Chris.
Yeah,
that's going to be a really nice addition, man.
Yeah. Yeah. There'll be one channel, and it's just one page of resource links for online groups for all different things, from crisis to poison control to I even provided the number for the CDC,
Yeah, I saw
So
that.
anything you could need, the information's there. Links for Trevor Group, Guardians MH, NAMI, Crisis Line. Everything will be there.
Well, I think we
So,
can all agree that with everything that's going on in our nation right now, might be a good place to escape to, you know?
yeah, it's a difficult times, you know.
Yeah.
I left a message in the server about, just these are the times that, we all need to come together regardless. Just we need to forget about sides. We need to forget about, who we think's right or wrong and just come together as a society, as a country. And that goes for us as an online community. We just need to come together and remember what's important. And that's the generations that are moving forward. They need to be reminded that they're safe. This country still has a bright future, and that we're here from them and teach them by example, know.
Yeah. Couldn't said it better myself.
I like that.
My son's 20, so it's having those conversations gets really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they view things much differently. But not to get into all that, but it's so important to have conversations with your children about anything,
Right.
Just talk to them.
Yeah.
They've got a lot to say, right or wrong.
And just a little note from a parent who's been through this, for you parents out here that are going to have teenagers soon or already in that mode, keep asking.
Yeah.
I know they may not want to talk to you, but eventually they're going to talk to you and they'll open up to you. Teenagers can be so defensive, and you just have to keep asking. You have to keep reminding them that you're there for them, And my wife was so good at that. She would always be on top of it, So.
You ask long enough, you'll catch them off guard one of them days.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the main thing was consistency, because you wanted your kids to know that no matter what, you're not judging. Whatever they're going through, we've probably been through it before. So,
yeah, I mean, you can't judge somebody and give them good advice at the same time.
No, not at all.
It doesn't work. So you need to be able to listen in order to give somebody good advice too. So there was a mental health program at one point. I don't know if they're still doing it, but anyways, it was called Ask Twice, and it was about your everyday interaction. So we all say, "Hey, how you doing?" Well, everybody has an automatic response. We don't realize it, but our brain is already trained. Yeah, I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you ask twice, it actually stumps their brain. It makes them hesitate long enough to actually think about the answer. And the science was there statistically. When you ask twice, it was like a crazy number how often they got a different response than the first one.
Yeah, I could see that. It throws them off. It throws them off their normal loop. Yeah, makes sense.
So if you got friends out there that you think something's wrong, that's a good little trick to.
Good idea.
Try to get through to them.
Yeah. Well, we can't let you go without the signature questions. At least a few of them.
Okay.
All right. So for those who may not know, how did you find Destiny?
So I was playing with my clan in Killzone 3. So what had happened was I actually fell off staging 16 feet, and I got really messed up. I compressed 3 vertebrae in my back. I fractured my elbow and sprained both wrists, and I have permanent nerve damage. My leg still goes numb from my kneecap to my hip. So, so I was in the hospital for 3-4 weeks, and then another rehab facility for like another 4 or 5 weeks or something. I was basically hospitalized for about 9 weeks, and then I was out of work for probably about a year and a half. So I started playing Killzone online. I had never played online before, and I just happened to connect with this clan called Axit, and every day I'd wake up on the couch, in pain, and I would play Killzone. So the leader, DJ, said this game's coming out, Destiny 2. You got to check it out. So Killzone was really old at that point.
Yeah.
And then we were also playing Battlefield
4?
Battlefield 3?
3, yeah.
Was it 3 when Destiny came out?
3, yeah, I think you're right.
Which was, to me, there's no better Battlefield game than Destiny.
Yeah, me and you could talk. Me and you could talk.
So we were very heavy into that, me and another friend of mine, Chevelle. So anyways, Axit was planning on moving from Killzone to Destiny, and DJ said, you got to come with me, So I said, all right. So I did the beta, and I'm like, geez, this is pretty cool. And then we really started to gel together more as a community between Battlefield 3, and then we later got into 4, and then we were doing the amateur tournaments. And so I was on the team for that, for Battlefield 4. We were playing competitively for that. So that was really cool. And then it just kind of, one thing led to another.
Those damn assault boats in Battlefield 4, man, they just would mow you down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I remember when they first put the weather in, I'm like, I'd rather have my 10 gigs back.
Yeah.
Keep the weather.
The waves would get crazy. Man, I'll tell you what, though, they were ahead of their time, man. It was even though it was so buggy, that was an amazing game, man.
If it wasn't for EA, that franchise could have done so much better.
I really like DICE, and this year they're coming out with another modern shooter. I cannot wait, man.
It'll be interesting to see.
It's probably one of the only other games I play besides Destiny. If a modern shooter comes out for Battlefield this year, I will be splitting time between that and Destiny.
I was heartbroken when Battlefield 1 came out. It was the first one. I said to myself, I'm not gonna play this, and I couldn't believe it, because that was really my passion.
It was mine too.
I was playing Destiny, but not.
Yeah,
I was way more heavily involved on the Battlefield side.
Well, if you remember Battlefield 3, God Almighty, it had so much depth. You would get a gun.
Battlefield 3 was amazing.
You got a gun, and you couldn't unlock that great scope until you got 500 kills with it. Destiny followed this pattern or this way of progressing their guns. I'm getting ahead of myself, but man, they would have a fantastic, long-lasting game out.
Yeah, that's perfect. I wasn't even thinking about that.
You remember that? I mean,
researching that topic.
I would go every week. I'd work on a gun, and I'd get as far as I could every week to unlock everything for that gun. And there were so many attachments to that gun. There were not only grips; there were several different kinds of grips that gave you different stats on your gun.
And I know they kind of do that for COD, but I think Battlefield did it much. Battlefield did it much better. I feel it was much more. You could understand it easier. You could visualize it.
It was very realistic.
Easier.
Yeah, it was very realistic too. What were you going to say, Hazel? Before we cut you off?
Well, no, I was just going to say that was my question. Was what was that's what COD does. I mean, but you were saying it's different somehow.
Yeah,
well, you could access the menu and actually see it, and then the way they felt was just amazing.
And then they
you could tell the difference in the feel of the controller when you put different attachments.
Oh, absolutely. And another, it was a very realistic shooter. And if they ever come out with a game like that again, and I've kind of lost hope, because, I mean, I'm sorry, the last few Battlefields have been like the Star Wars games. They're just so freaking shallow, and very little to do. It was like a dumbed down version of the game.
It's EA. It's the same thing the same thing they did with Anthem.
Yeah, and it's the reason Battlefront flopped so badly.
That was awful.
It was
pay to win.
Yeah, that was pay to win, though. That wasn't anything else.
Yeah, well, that's where DICE came in, and they actually starting putting more progression in. And I mean, Battlefront 2 was actually a pretty good game, but the problem was that the damage had already been done with all the packs and stuff that you could buy to get Darth Vader like really early instead of really busting your ass, and you had to really play a lot to unlock him. So once you got disheartened by that, you kind of lost value for the game and value for your time.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think that didn't what's his name? The guy who Zamparelli? The guy who was on Zampanelli. Yeah, didn't he take over DICE now?
Oh God, please tell me he did.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he took over DICE.
God, I hope so. He's no, I mean, he came out with the first Modern Warfare. I mean, he was with Infinity Ward forever, and their games were always tight. Very good games.
And then he did the Star Wars game that just came out. That was awesome.
Yeah.
And then he also did Apex Legends.
Yep.
And
they did
Titanfall.
Titanfall was not his fault. That was a very good story and it's a very good game. The problem
Titanfall 2 was awesome though.
That's Respawn.
They just slammed it. And that was his back then that was his baby. That was his new studio that he built with other partners, but he's since been moving on to bigger and better things. And Titanfall was a good game, but just the timing of it was terrible. They squeeze it in there right between Destiny and Call of Duty, and it just didn't have a chance.
Yeah, it's funny because, I mean, the Frostbite engine is amazing.
Yes.
And that engine's amazing. So, DICE, they're just a victim, I feel. This, the same way I feel about BioWare. I feel BioWare is a solid studio, but they're just getting porked by the big machine, So
DICE is one of my favorite studios of all time. They make such great games.
Yeah, I mean, in Infinity Ward, I don't really like COD, but a Modern Warfare, I enjoy it's the only one I'll play the multiplayer on.
I got so many memories from that game,
Both of them. Yeah. Any of the Modern Warfares, I'll play the multiplayer, the regular Black Ops. You can't get me in there.
You know what's funny?
I get no interest in it.
I'll be working just during the day. I'll be working, and I'll think of an old Call of Duty map from Modern Warfare, and I'll go, "Man, that was such a fun map." Just out of the blue, man. Just these memories just stick in your head,
Yeah.
Of all these
they were always more realistic. They always felt better.
Yeah.
Like playing.
Yeah.
And they just were always smoother, and that's because it's the different studios.
Yeah.
And
don't get me wrong.
I think right now, like Activision is just so bad. They're getting to the point of even on my PC, when I try to open that launcher to play Warzone and stuff, it's just a mess. It's just, I'm like,
Well, I tell you what, I found out, not to get off topic too much here, but I actually cracked open Zombies. I know. Don't faint, Hazel. I actually played Zombies the other night. I said, you know what? I got an hour left before I go to bed.
For how long? Yeah,
I played for an hour. I played for an hour, but I rank what was really cool. I rank up the season pass and my multiplayer by just killing zombies. I love that.
Yeah.
I love this. This will be how I play this game. And then when I've ranked up everything and I have a lot of guns and stuff I can use, then I'll jump in and play Warzone or, I've already have loadouts and stuff made, but I got to level 10 just in an hour of play for multiplayer. Yeah. It's really cool.
It is one thing I do like is how they did the season pass. And regardless what version of that you're playing, it all stacks up to the same season pass, which is kind of cool because it's really 3 separate games.
Yeah, and I love playing zombies, so I can still unlock all the guns like everyone that plays a million hours of multiplayer. I'm right there parallel with them, and in Warzone too. And I can rank up stuff just as much, because what's the worst thing when you're playing Call of Duty, especially if you're late to the game? You got to start out with all the crappy weapons that they give you at the beginning, and then you have to slowly unlock all the attachments so the gun actually shoots right. And I always got frustrated by that. And that's kind of the one thing I do like about Destiny is everything's intact. You get the gun, boom, go out and have fun with it and use it. But, okay. I'm getting us way off point here. Hazel, why don't you ask another signature question and we can move on.
You haven't done much talking this week, have you? You're really, really chatty.
I'm sorry, man. I am chatty because I
don't think I've finished a single story yet.
I don't think so. I think Gatr is.
Really?
It's not you, dude. No. It's me and you together.
We're just gotten off 5 tangents already, haven't we?
Yeah, I'm just trying to keep myself awake.
All right, I got you. Hazel, save us, man.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, sir, aside from Destiny and playing with your wood, what other hobbies do you have, sir?
Pretty much mental health. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, I don't think I really answered the whole mental health. I mean, I did, but so the reason why I do like the research and all that stuff as a hobby, I love creating like the pages I just did for the server and stuff like that. I love doing the little, you've seen me do it a million times in general. Somebody will say something and I'll say image incoming, and I'll make up a quick flyer or a graphic or something. I love doing that stuff. And it's very therapeutic for me doing that research and stuff like that. So, and it was kind of like nostalgic when I first sat down to do like the stuff for the server. I mean, I started at 5:00 in the morning. I don't think I stopped till 5:00 at night, and it was like the day flew by, like it flew by. Like, and I'm like, I miss. I don't always have a lot to do, so I create things to do.
Sure.
But right now it's winter, so. Pretty much my hobbies consist of TV watching, eating food, TV watching, eating food.
Well, that sounds familiar.
So it's, my hobbies are video games, doing mental health stuff, graphics, that sort of thing. Trying to find little things to put out there for people.
Good.
Walking the dog. Pretty boring, really.
Nah.
Well, that's a great hobby, though. I mean, because it's something that helps other people, because some people's hobbies are just, like something that benefits themselves. Yours are something that benefits others.
Yeah, but I get the same in return. So it's kind of it goes both ways. So
I could tell though, you have so much passion. I mean, I can recognize it because I get passionate about certain projects, and
when I start researching,
you were like Fred. I was watching in real time where you're putting the server together. I'm like, man, he's really fretting over this stuff. I said, man, he's really into this, and I was impressed, man. Like I said,
I did it twice. I scrapped the whole thing.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah. Yeah, I did it the night before, and then
sorry,
I
missed the voice call. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
I
get it.
Well, all right. I say I asked the one that I always ask, Hazel, and why don't you finish with the one you always ask? Sound good?
Sounds good. All
right, Chris, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Think long and hard about this one. What's one thing about you that nobody knows? Or, when I say nobody, obviously your wife might know, but maybe people in general may not know about you.
Jeez, I just came clean about quite a bit of it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's kind of the question I always get really great answers from, but think about it.
There's quite a few, but I can't.
No,
can't.
It can be small.
Tell them.
It doesn't have to be a major.
Grounds that I may incriminate myself.
Well, it could be something. It could be something simple,
We used to always hop the fence at Great Woods, so I saw every show for free for 3 years.
Okay, that's
Great
good.
Woods is like the big outdoor venue here. Like, all the big bands go there. So I saw everybody from Pearl Jam to the Allman Brothers. So.
Oh, nice. Well, I think the statute of limitations has run out on that, so I don't think you have to worry about incriminating yourself there.
No, that's not what I was referring to.
No, I got that. I got that. All right, Hazel, take us out, man.
Yeah.
All right, sir. So, do you have a motto or mantra that you live by?
Yeah, I don't know. Everyone always says they have one, and I'm not sure that I really do. Like, it's just kind of weird because you would think of me of all people, right? Like, I would have one. But I think I read so many of them and I do so much that they all just kind of blend together. But I would say treat others the way you want to be treated,
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
respect is a big thing in me. Like, if I feel I can take a lot. If I feel like somebody's attacking my integrity or my, disrespecting me or my family, it's like instant red. Like red.
Sure.
Other than that, I can take it all.
All right.
Like, it doesn't bother me.
Hazel, I'll try to contain myself the rest of the night. Okay.
It's me. It's not you. It's me.
No. Me and Chris are pretty similar aged, and I can see we bounce off each other real easy.
Yeah.
No offense to you, Hazel. I mean, you're just younger. I mean,
he's smarter than that.
He's quiet and taking notes. That's what it is.
I got my little
Midwestern. I'm just Midwestern, and that means we were polite. We don't talk over each other and stuff like that. So.
I'm from Florida, and we just blab, 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 blab. So
I'll be talking about something Midwestern at the end of the show.
Good.
Midwestern.
Good.
I like it.
Yep.
Well, Hazel, first one of the year. What do you think?
I bet money that he finishes higher than everybody else last year.
Well, we're gonna.
Yeah, because I have an extra 30 seconds.
We're gonna find
I'm gonna
out.
be horrible at this. I was horrible at it the first time. What I have 18 the first time.
Well, hey, I guarantee you'll be the leader
Not that I was
for at least 1 week.
Okay.
All right, we'll do that right after this.
Call the Praxic Order, call the Thanatonauts, the Jinsen Scribes, call everyone so they can witness you.
All right, boys and girls, it's that time of the week for the very first time of 2021. This segment is called the Speed Run. This is where we have a database of over 250 randomly asked questions, and Chris3711 here will have 90 seconds to answer as many as he can. These are short 1 or 2 word answers, and at the end of the year, the guest with the most answered will win a cool prize and the title of 2021 Speedrun Champion. Questions are randomly asked, so no one can memorize the order, even though I know Kingsley's at home right now probably taking notes, writing every question down as we speak. And just answer whatever comes to mind, Chris. Whatever quickly comes to mind. Yep. Don't linger too long on them. Just fly through them. Whatever comes to mind, and we'll see what happens. Tonight, obviously, I'm going to read the questions randomly from our list. Hazel is our timekeeper and quality control expert. In the event of a questionable answer, Hazel's decision will be final. All right, Chris, you ready to do this, man?
Ready?
You got the 90-second timer there, Hazel?
Yeah, I actually had it set for 60 seconds, and I was like,
oh, no.
I was like, glad I fixed that before we got started.
Our first blunder already, no. All right, here we go.
I corrected it.
Okay, I got you. All right, here we go. I'm going to be as consistent as possible here, Chris.
Dear God.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Warlock, Titan, or Hunter?
Hunter.
Picard or Kirk?
Kirk.
Do aliens exist?
Yes.
Goku or Vegeta?
Goku.
Are beers seasonal?
Yes.
Which has better rocks, Moon, Mars, or Mercury?
Moon.
Freelance solo strikes, yes or no?
Yes.
Favorite Destiny armor base color?
Arctic Pearl.
Miley or Billy Ray Cyrus?
Miley.
Sunset or sunrise?
Sunset.
Guardian Hub or Guardian Down?
Guardian Down.
Describe yourself in 1 word.
Humble.
Extrovert or introvert?
Extrovert.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how cool are you?
10.
GIF or GIF files?
GIF.
What is your favorite Destiny planet?
Earth.
Spock or Data?
Spock.
Respawn, Night Demon, or Parody?
Respawn.
Where is your ideal vacation?
Costa Rica.
Are hard hats sexy?
Of course.
What's the worst job you've ever had?
Current.
Resolution or first-person shooter? I'm sorry, resolution or frames?
Frames.
Favorite salty snack?
Chips.
If money was no object, where would you retire? In an RV or a sailboat?
RV.
Do you believe in ghosts?
Yes.
UFC or WWE?
UFC.
How many jumbo marshmallows can you put in your mouth?
Last question right there.
Well, I don't know.
I gave you an extra one because I messed up on that question. So
yeah, that's the reason why I let it go.
Yep. Well, good deal. All right, Hazel. I don't even know what number to even think of here. How many we got?
27.
Nice start, man.
Look at that. With 30 extra seconds, I still didn't. That's bullshit. That's. Oh, I just swore. I told myself I was going to do that. Gosh darn it.
It's just for fun, dude. You're good.
Dude, I felt like I was in the zone there for a second.
You were
too.
good, man. I was I reading them pretty okay, Hazel?
You were kind of slow, but
all right. Well,
I mean, you weren't reading them as fast, I can definitely say, as you were for Fluffy and.
okay, fair enough. Well, I got to work on that. So we'll put an asterisk by Chris's 27. How about that?
No. I'm not worried about it. I don't get hung up on that stuff. So. I hope not, because one of my answers was humble. So if
well,
I can't even raise a stink about it now, or otherwise I turn myself into a hypocrite. So.
Well, those are, you had a couple thinkers there. It took a little extra time. So, dude, that's the way it's going to be this year. So, all you future guests, that's what you're going to be dealing with. So get used to it. Hey, I've got a question for all you listeners out there. Do you have a great speedrun question? If that's a yes, join our Discord and enter them in our Speedrun Question Ideas channel. Yes, we're doing it again, gang. For 2021, we'll add them to next year's speedrun contest. Just remember that they need to be yes or no, or 1 or 2 word answers. Either or questions will also be accepted. At the end of the year, we're going to have that drawing again for 2 $25 gift cards of your choice to 2 lucky people. So you can enter up to 5 questions in our drawing. So good luck. All right. Hey, Chris, that's respectable, man. Good job. Thank you for playing our little game.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I guess it is Destiny talk, right? Coming up?
I believe so, yeah.
All right.
I hope so, because I actually did homework for this.
Well, good. We'll do that.
I'm happy about it.
We're going to talk Destiny then. Right after. Oh, brother. Well, we're going to talk Destiny right after this. Okay, no TWAB this week, Hazel. I can't ask you for the TWAB. So,
Yep.
This is the time of the year. It's always right after the lull in the holidays. Bungie's, had a nice break. Santa's come to their house. They've gotten all their gifts delivered. They're in a good mood. And then they come back to the studio and the house is on fire. And, I mean, it's that meme of that little boy. You put it in our Discord. The little boy runs into the hallway and then goes, "Oh, no," and runs back. I love that meme. It's my favorite one. Well, it's that time of the year. Bungie's just getting back from their holiday break, and the usual doom and gloom, Bungie is not adequate, and I'm leaving Destiny type of sentiment is going on around the community right now. So in that spirit, I wanted to ask these other 2 gentlemen here, what is your overall feel of Destiny right now? And more importantly, how do you see 2021 shaping up here? I'm just curious what you guys have to think about this.
As far as the game, or
how's the game currently?
Society.
No. Well, we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But I mean, how are you enjoying the game now, or not enjoying the game? And how do you think 2021 is going to shape up? You think the Bungie is going to turn this around? I'm just curious. I don't want to lead you on. What are your thoughts on this, guys?
Go ahead, Hazel. I'll follow you.
Oh, no. The guest first, because I've already, this was actually going to be something that I was going to ask everybody anyway. But go ahead.
Please, I'm going to get you for this.
You're welcome.
Enjoying it. I mean, I definitely am. The one thing I'm having a super hard time with is the armor economy, like as far as getting everything masterworked. I mean, that's ridiculous. And by the time you do it, the season's going to be over, and then the armor's going to be obsolete, and then I'm going to be right back to where I was the last time. So that's my rant. So I'm going to take a deep breath now and move on to the next subject. I feel bad for Bungie. I mean, I can't even imagine working through last year and trying to pull all this together. So I'll definitely give them that. One thing I've learned with the Destiny community is you're never going to satisfy both sides. It's just not going to happen. You fix one, you screw the other, and then it's just a constant tug of war, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much.
So the game's playing
I
good. You're enjoying everything and how the game's
Yeah, and
unfolding.
I mean, I think they're truly listening, but I think they're actually listening to the community a little bit too much, or they were, but now they kind of, I think that's why everyone's up in arms right now, because they were on break, so they weren't like, coddling everybody on Twitter. So I mean, we go through this cycle every couple of years.
I was just gonna say that. Doesn't it seem like we've been here before?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. It's like, good, move on.
See,
that's the way I look at it, but whatever.
Ironically, no one ever remembers the last year Rise of Iron in Destiny, where there was like 6 months of time we didn't hear a thing from Bungie. Nothing. Not we're listening. Okay, we'll see what we can do. Nothing. It was dead.
Right.
It was dead silence.
But
that was the norm back then.
Yeah, exactly. And we still played the game probably more than we play this, more than we play D2.
I just play a lot. Period. There's no comparison for me. But I played a ton of D1. I'm playing a ton of D2, just for different reasons. But I remember, man, I was going to that Rise of Iron place, the mountain, the peak. What was it?
Fellwinter's Peak.
Yeah.
And I would check in every day and go, nope, I've already got all the artifacts. What else can I do? And I would lose my mind trying to figure out something to accomplish that day. I'm very goal oriented when I play, and I need some goals when I'm playing. But but Chris, what do you think about the season, the way they have the season set up now? I mean, that's totally different from Destiny 1. Do you like the trickle of content, or would you rather get big, giant expansions? I mean, what do you think?
I like it. I've had a lot of time off the past few weeks, so I've been on a lot more than I normally would be, which is why my light level is where it's at. I mean, I think I'm at, I'm super proud of myself, and I'm not even very high. I'm like 1258 or something. So, I mean, that's my thing. Like, by the time the season's over, I'm usually just getting close to the max, and then I got to start all over again. So for me, it's just a vicious cycle, but I feel like I never really truly get anywhere. And there's really no, there's really no reason to it, because I know the season's just going to flip, and then I can eat some coin or something that's going to jump me up to so-and-so, and then it's just the same grind again. So when people say it is getting stale, I totally see that. I've never played Destiny for the game. I've always played it for the community, for one reason or another. So it's that simple for me. So not that I don't enjoy the game, but I get very bored with it. So, I mean, I get where people are coming from, but I also don't see where the mystery is. Like, that's what the game is. It always has been.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Chris, question for you.
Yep.
Just a follow-up there. So if you didn't have this time off that you do now,
yeah,
would you be your light wouldn't be as high, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about the season then and the trickle of content? How it's like every week, seemingly, it seems like there's something new to do or go after or something like that, or something going on.
I fall behind. Like, we were just, when me and you were playing the other day, oh, well, you got to level up the Cade killer, that crow. You got to level him. You got to level him up to so-and-so so it could unlock that stupid new mission, the Seeker 2 or whatever.
Yeah, right.
So it's like, now do I go in and grind all of that? Like now I'll have to pick and choose what I want to work on. So with my limited time, I can only work on so much to get it accomplished. So I typically fall behind. I generally, when I come home at night, I just want to do something quick. So I tend to just jump in Crucible or, run some strikes, stuff that I do know. The one thing I really don't like is the fact that matchmaking is off on the higher tier Nightfalls. I don't understand that. It makes no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Like, just so I can't run them on a daily basis? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, and I've yet to hear a good reason why they're locked after 12. The 1220 is the last one of the matchmaking on, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think mainly it's because that it's harder content. So you don't want to go in with some shitty blueberry that, doesn't know their ass.
Well, it's better than not being able to get in at all, right? So
you can do it.
Well, you can do it solo.
Yeah, you can do it solo.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I have a hard time brushing my teeth solo.
Well, I'll give you an example, Chris. We did a Warcry and I were trying to get our Cloud Strike rifles, and we have to run, Empire hunts. You can run any level you want, but if you go into lower tier levels, you have to matchmake if you don't have a full 3 people. And it was just, we put a notice in the Discord that we needed a third. No one, everyone's probably already got their rifle. Yeah, we did. We put it in the raid.
No, you don't have to. It doesn't matchmake you if you're 1250.
No. That's what I'm saying. We played the 1250 ones, not the 1280 ones. I mean, those are just insane. And the rifle can drop on whatever level. But we played the 1250 ones, and what was nice, this is why I like the freelance strike setup. It's why I really push for the freelance strike playlist like they do with Iron Banner. If I want to just take my time and go through the strike and see how the mechanics are put together, or I'm trying to get bounties done, I won't go down that path. But my example was explaining, Chris, was that me and Warcry played 3 or 4 Empire hunts that night, totally stress-free, talking amongst ourselves, BSing, having a great time. And he got it on the 3rd try. I got it on the very next try. We got our Cloud Strikes, and it's a fun rifle. But because it's not matchmaking, I like that aspect of it, the 1250s, because of the fact that we didn't have to worry about a blueberry ruining something or running in and starting a next engagement, ahead of time, or trying to speed run it when we just want to take our time and have fun. And
I totally get that, but unless you're like a master level player or something, you're not getting through those higher Nightfalls without somebody, without at least one, without a full team.
Well,
I don't see how you're doing it without a full team. That's different than a.
Then I'll ask you this: how are you going to do the solo lost sectors at 1280 and 1250 light? You have to do them solo to get the chance to get the armor.
But those are set up to be designed to be difficult, but soloed, I believe. No.
Well, it's a smaller
compared
story.
To a Nightfall.
Yeah, it's definitely a smaller engagement. That's for sure. It's just a little tighter space.
Nightfall is designed for a full fire team at 1280.
Yeah,
not.
I agree.
The lost sectors are designed to be kick the snot out of you, but feasibly done solo. But somebody like me will probably never get that.
But here's my point.
And I'm okay with that. But I'd like to at least run the.
But here's my point. Why don't they do the haunted forest where you can have a little drop down menu where you can do it by yourself or or matchmaking? Why couldn't they do that for all these different levels of encounters?
There you go. There's a good solution.
Why couldn't they do that?
Making sense again.
Well, it'll never happen, but I keep throwing it out there. I don't know. Bungie's not exactly listening to Guardian Downcast, but right. you can always throw it out there and on a wish.
I can make a call.
All right, Hazel, what do you think, man? I know you got a lot to say here.
Okay, so in light of everything that's going on and the shitstorm that's going on right now and everything, I'm sorry. I didn't know that I'm not supposed to be enjoying Destiny right now. I didn't get the memo. So
You want me to forward it again?
Oh yeah, fuck! If you could, that'd be great.
Well,
because
wait a minute. We just watched 4 videos of 4 different content creators complaining about how people are leaving. So
yeah, and I couldn't move my hand up and down enough in that jerking motion to illustrate my my thought on it.
Right. All right. So
they were awful.
You're enjoying it.
They were all awful.
But I mean, yeah, I am. And what's not to enjoy? This is the most content that we've had, and the most stuff that we've had to do, like pretty much ever. And what I mean by that is that it's a weekly drop almost, where something's going on that we have to do. You know, this week it's Zivu of Wrath. Last week it was cookies. The week before that, cookies. I mean, there's always something going on.
Well, I mean, can I just interrupt for 1 second?
Sure.
I mean, if you haven't figured it out yet, it's a PR stunt. I mean, that's what this is always about, right? Glad's going to send out the tweet and, I'm leaving. Like, Glad, yay, good. Yeah, like, I don't have patience for him. But
the opinions expressed by this.
I'm sorry.
I'm just bullshitting you. Go ahead.
Well, no, because it's just does it every year, and then so PC Mag or something will write an article, so he'll get his 2 minutes of fame and some horribly written article on some website that 20 people read, and then same thing with all the other big names. It's like creating drama it's clickbait, and that's all it is, and it always has been. Destiny is what it is. It's not any different to me.
Well, you could be playing Cyberpunk right now on PS4, right? Oops.
I played on Xbox One X.
Or he could have turned it in and gotten a refund,
right?
And still wanted to play the game.
Oh, and Cyberpunk's such a great game right now. Such a great game.
I don't mind it. I like it. It plays okay on the One X.
Dude, I got a high-end gaming PC. I got a 2080 Super.
Yeah.
And I can barely get 35 frames. And I had to I turned ray tracing off. It is a graphics hog. Yeah. That just tells me the game was not optimized very well. I mean, Don't get me wrong. There's a lot going on in this world. I get it.
Yeah.
But it just isn't what I thought it was. It was sold to me differently. And
I'm gonna buy it once it actually they kind of fix it more.
That's what my attitude is. I'm gonna play it once they get all these nasty bugs and when maybe they'll fix some stuff and make it more enjoyable. But now
it's gonna be a couple of months. They already put out an article.
But I'm sorry. When's the last time Destiny was unplayable? Anybody think of that?
Well, it depends on who you are. Apparently, it's unplayable now. But,
But what I'm saying is, I'm talking about bugs and mechanics, and where you can't even finish your a mission you're trying to complete because the game is so buggy. I mean, people take that for granted. Bungie has always been on their shit. They've always been.
They're not always on it, though, man. I mean,
give me an example.
You're the shill again.
I am the corporate shill.
Are you forgetting about the guitar errors during Last Wish, where inevitably, what is it like? It was I want to say 15 to 25% of raids would hit that. Some person would hit that.
I'm sorry,
get kicked out.
How long ago was that?
And how long did it last for, though?
Well, okay, fair point. But it was a long time ago, man. But Last Wish raid.
How long? You asked the question. When was the last time Destiny was unplayable? And I'm just giving you a point that basically Bungie is not.
There's always been weird glitches. I mean, that's.
But look at all the games out there right now. Bungie is the smoothest shooter out there right now, guys. I mean, the mechanics are second to none. I tried using the guns in Cyberpunk. I'm like, this gun's all over the place. I mean, okay, what do I need to do to get where it shoots where it shoots more accurately? And then I'm like, then I'm looking at all my skill trees over here. I got to go run 10 missions over here to get better aim. I'm like, what?
Well, yeah, man, it's because that's a new game, man.
Okay.
But you're supposed to be playing Cyberpunk for the prostitutes, not for the guns. So let's just.
It's not Destiny.
I was getting for I wanted the implants. I mean, that's the thing I got.
Right?
He was doing the romance quest.
I'm sorry. Hazel, continue.
But
yeah, how did Cyberpunk end up in Destiny?
Because I
Gatr.
sidetracked us again.
Because Gatr. But I mean, it's ultimately that. I mean, yes. I mean, the game is not. I mean, Destiny has its problems and things along those lines. But I mean, Bungie does do well now. They are fixing problems quicker than they've ever fixed them before.
Yeah. That's the new engine.
I mean, it's not a new engine, but
I just like.
I'm stabbing the air with my pen right now.
I just like I like setting them off with that word.
I just started punching air.
Pretending it's Gator's face. I got you.
Nah, but I mean, it's just that. I mean, okay, so Bungie is doing everything they can to basically fit the bill for what they need to do, and what they envision. Now, okay, in those 4 videos that we shared, I mean, it was Fallout, Datto. I don't even remember the other.
It was we watched one from Astrocross, True Vanguard, Fallout Plays, and Datto.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing, though. Okay, now True Vanguard he mentioned something, and I just feel like I have to say this. So he kept saying in his video that basically that Bungie made this game for us, and that that they need to listen to us, and this and that and the other thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When has Bungie really truly ever listened to us and then gave us what we want and then left it in play?
I think they listen more than any other game.
They listen more than Call of Duty does.
And they definitely listen more than other. But I also feel like that's how they get themselves in trouble.
They're the most responsive developer, in my opinion, because I used to play Call of Duty for years, and they would throw the game at you and say, "Have fun, good luck."
Yeah. But, I mean, Call of Duty is doing things now because of Warzone. It makes them where they have to pay attention to the game. Not
live service. That's why. It's all about live service game now.
But what I'm getting at, though, is that basically Bungie has to. Bungie gives and that, but ultimately this is their game, and that's the reason why most of the time, like if you notice, like whenever something drops, nobody's fucking happy with it. Wow. Nobody. Beyond Light comes out, and nobody's happy because warlocks are overpowered, warlocks are fucking ecstatic, but nobody else is happy. Everybody's like, rah, 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 and this and that and the other thing. And it's because that's the game that Bungie made. That's the game that Bungie wants you to play. That's the economy that they set up. That's everything there.
Yeah. Can I just add something to that?
Sure.
Well, I mean, so I think their problem is like I think you're dead right, but so they created a game with a universe that caters to so many different groups and level of players at the same time, unlike any other game, that they've created a universe that's impossible to balance.
It's not a linear game. I mean, I mention that almost every podcast, that I do not envy their job because they have to appeal to so many different kinds of players.
They'd almost be better off releasing 2 versions of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You can't keep the casual player happy and a streamer who consumes content at a rate that is, I mean, it's just sustainable.
Yeah.
Right.
Completely.
And but again, I think it's mostly PR, but I mean, yeah.
Well, True Vanguard
the way they,
Well, True Vanguard also said in his video that that it's time that, and this is according to his community too. I mean, I'm sure he shares this with his community, is that it's time for stasis to be either removed entirely from Crucible, or I know, or it needs to be tuned separately from PvE. That And I honestly am starting to think that maybe Destiny just needs to release a Crucible base game and then the PvE game. But
that's what I was leading towards. Yeah.
Here's the problem, though. What's the really the great magic that Destiny has today? You grab a gun while doing a strike, and you're like, man, I wonder how this would do against Guardians. You can immediately just jump into Crucible and see how it works. But
nobody ever wonders that, though, man.
I do all the time.
The only way people play this game is basically they look and they see like what the meta is, and then they say like, oh, okay, well, how do I get a trustee? And then they're like, oh, okay, I have to raid for it. So then they go ahead and they hop in the raid and they play, and then they get a trustee, and then they go back into PvP. That's how PvP players play. And I mean, and that's fine and that, but I mean, in regard to that, PvP, I mean, is Destiny a PvP game?
Well, no.
Something that everybody kept asking in all of those videos. Is this a PvP game or is it something else? And, I find it very hard to call this a PvP game. Now, I mean, it did some really right things in D1 with Trials of Osiris. But, they lost that magic. And then, I mean, the other thing, though, that I just thought of actually is regarding PvP. If you remember, they lost like 3 of their heads of PvP.
Yeah, they did. Very good people.
Like a year ago or over a year ago, something like that.
They're a PvP sandbox team, a lot of them.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, well, no wonder PvP's in the state that it's in and everything else. So I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't think of another game that intertwines the two to the level that they do.
But does that mean that's a good thing, though?
Well, it's good and it's bad but that's what's creating the problem. Like, most multiplayer games that you have that are heavy PvP, they may have a story, but that story ends. You play it, you're done with it, you move on. Like, you don't go back, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Destiny's created a universe where the two are intertwined. How do you can't balance that?
Well, they're intertwined in regard to the weapons. The lore isn't really, tied to too much of Crucible. So,
no, but the meta of the supers and everything, the way the Guardian operate, everything about that Guardian, weapons, abilities, everything is, the two of them are intertwined to a point where it's a balancing nightmare.
Mm-hmm. Well, I've got a question. So, one of the things that I heard like way back when was that Destiny 3, when they release it, now again, this is all that speculation and all that good stuff, but that it was going to be PvP VE. So it was going to be, you could be out in the wild and you could shoot other Guardians.
Yeah, it's just going to turn into a mess. You're going to have people taking over territories and...
What's that?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
My throat was so dry. I told you I had a sore throat. I had to go get a drink.
So basically what I said is that there was like a leak that what they were looking at doing for Destiny 3 was going to be PvPvE.
Right. Yeah.
And you could be out in the wild and you could be like doing a strike and then you could get picked off by a Guardian.
Yeah, that wouldn't get trolly at all.
That? Yeah. Do you know who does that? Is Eve and Dust.
Eve Online?
Yeah. So you have people in the Eve in the outer space and the ships and all that. And then so it was released originally as 2 games, but now I think I haven't gone back into it. They merged the 2 together. So, and I think it was it Dust or something like that? The Ground War one?
Yeah, I remember Dust. Yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah. Well, now they're all one game.
Oh, wow.
But you would be running around in the open world, and you'd run into other factions.
I don't know, man. I remember that leak, and I was like, man, that is going to be so trolly. You're going to have people rage quit.
Yeah.
They're going to be working on gathering materials or farming something, and some idiot's going to keep hitting them with a sniper rifle when they get into the area.
You'll have clans taking over areas to control materials.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds awesome to me.
Yeah, I know. Hazel's the dark horse when it comes to Destiny. He wants the world to burn.
He
kind of does.
Fun, I want it. My definition of fun is kind of make this the Wild Wild West, and quite frankly, with stasis, it is kind of like the Wild Wild West.
Yeah, you want what's the word? You want consequences for actions.
Yeah.
All right. So imagine you have a quest you're trying to get done, right? And you need, 20 pieces of gold or something, right? And the only place you can find gold is on Earth at some mine shaft. Well, then you have some big streamer with his minions constantly controlling that area so that they can keep all the gold.
Yeah.
How frustrating is that going to be?
Well, okay, so the Division did this. They had something called like a dark zone where basically it was PvP in a certain area.
Right.
So I could see them doing something like that. And then, they had fucking better put like a strike and you have to go through one of those areas. You have to do, to me, you should do that for every strike. It's just, you're going through a strike, and who better to fight than, other Guardians?
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me when you're on the water ride at Disney World and you have these asshats that can put $2 in a squirt gun and squirt you while you're going down the falls and stuff. I don't like that idea, man. I played Division.
It creates a toxic environment.
I played Division, and guess what area I avoided all the time because I heard nightmares about people stealing people's loot, and that's a dark zone. I stayed the hell away from that area. I just wanted to wander the world and gather stuff. The problem is when you mix those two areas, Hazel, you're mixing two different kinds of players that have two different kinds of goals, and you're putting them in one world area. And I don't know if that would I don't know if that people would do well that. I think they would see their numbers just drop like a rock.
But
typically the audio comes through too, so you create it just creates a toxic community.
Yeah, but I just think though that I would give them an A for effort for just trying something new.
As long as they roped it off as an area you knew where you were going, you knew we were getting into that was separate from main areas, that just remember there's other Guardians in there that might steal your stuff or could kill you, or
they don't steal your stuff.
The only thing I can think of is Mad Max.
Exactly.
Coming back in my head.
Yeah.
Like Mad Max. Like it's going to be the Thunderdome on the EDC.
That would be amazing. I'd be like, sign me up. I'll be right there. Day one.
This is a fantasy shooter game, guys. It's about us Guardians, how we're so good and pure, and we are saving humanity and warding off evil.
But we took the darkness and we're using it for good purposes.
Yes.
Now imagine the whole concept of the whole Dark Guardian thing. So let's say that by the time Lightfall comes, so we have a whole year in between. Mm-hmm. We have 3 darkness subclasses. We have 3 light subclasses. Mm-hmm. They fucking lock you into it. They say, hey, what are you going to do?
We've talked about this. I'm all for that. I'm all for it.
But now let's add the twist of PvPvE.
Oof.
For when Lightfall comes, that it's Guardian versus Guardian. And then, it's that. But you can still team up with Light Guardians, obviously. But I just think that would be fantastic.
I could just see Patty Cakes just sitting on the edge of the map going, okay, who's next?
Yeah. Yeah, it'd be so trolly, toxic. You would kill your casual gaming.
I think Chris said it best. There's 2 different sides of this game. You have the PvP-centric people and you have the PvE-centric people. And I agree what Hush says. Hush said at the end of his tweet when he was saying he was leaving that if you tell me this is a PvE game, suck some body part, basically is what he was saying. And, I I have to agree with him a little bit because the one thing I love about Destiny is I can take a gun out of PvE, and I always, what's the first thing you do when you look at a gun that drops in a strike or a raid or whatever? You're like, oh, what kind of roll is this guy, right? Well, who gives a shit if you're in PvE all the time? No, you want to know what kind of rolls it has because you've heard that this roll, this stable, like this certain barrel on this certain trusty scout rifle is going to give you much better accuracy when getting headshots in the Crucible. Those are the kind of things I think of. I'm sure I'm not alone here. I'm sure a lot of people are thinking what they can bring into PvE or Iron Banner PvP. Man,
you just sat right there and said that nobody cares about roles in PvE. Bitch,
what? When did I say that?
You just did there. You
yeah.
Like that nobody cares about roles in PvE.
Okay, no.
I look at every role.
Let me expand. Let me clarify my point there. If you get let's just use an example. Say you get a trustee with, let's say you get outlaw and kill clip. Perfect. That's a perfect PvP role, right? What real difference is that going to really do when you're fighting off 3-shot red bar enemies? It's not going to make really any difference. I mean, it really isn't. I mean, unless you're talking DPS numbers, that's where roles are really important when you're DPSing a boss. We basically just walk over ads in this game, and that's the one thing I wish they would do a little more. I think they need to make the game a little more difficult overall. I mean, does it just seem like we just run over ads now? They don't really, I mean, they're just a nuisance. They're like a flea. You get hit 3 or 4 times and you're like, okay, what's shooting me? You go over there and kill it and you move on.
But that's the power fantasy, isn't it?
There is no power fantasy anymore because everything is upscaled to your light level. That's the problem. I mean, in the original,
then how are we walking over stuff then?
We're still walking over stuff because it's so easy to kill. And power, let's face it, you hit 1250 light in this game. Is there really any other reason to get any higher light other than to solo the lost sectors for the exotic gear?
Iron Banner.
Yep, we're talking PvE, right? I mean, there's really no other reason. Once you hit 1250 light, you can pretty much do everything in the game. You can raid.
Destiny. There never has been. Like all these people complain, oh, well, once I hit the title, there's nothing else to do. It's been that way since day one.
There's a lot to do in Destiny right now. Not just PvP.
It's a part that confuses me. Everyone thinks it was this like magical thing they've been chasing for the past 10 years.
No,
this is what Destiny's always been.
It's nostalgia, Chris. You got a lot of people who want to have that feeling that they had when they first stepped on the Cosmodrome, you know? And you're never going to get that feeling back. It's just human nature, man. Once you've already experienced it, unless you're going to get a whole new experience, and this is what Dado said in his video. He says, you know what? More loot is not going to cut it anymore. What's going to cut it is innovation. We need something new. We need something new in the game. We need innovation. That's the only thing that's going to make this game fun in the future. I mean, I'm paraphrasing there. I mean, don't hold me to it, Dado, but that's pretty much what you said at the end. That was your summation. Your summation was extra, more loot, more guns, et cetera, isn't going to cut it anymore because people want new ways to play the game. So...
yeah, exactly. And I mean, I did love that in that Dado video where he said exactly what I said, where he's like, I kind of want to see a Destiny game where it's just a story game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's exactly what I said. It's like, that's what, I mean, because Bungie is kicking ass at the story and the lore with this. I mean, the whole stuff with the crow and, I mean, Zivu Arath. I'm digging this.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're not holding your hand.
The only people they made happy with Beyond Light is the lore community for the first time. Really,
for sure.
They made their job easier.
Yeah,
right.
I agree.
So now you have much better groups popping up and much like really great people servicing the community and doing a great job and carrying a story forward. And I think that's awesome. But again, because they're catering to that side, the PvP guys are feeling left out. And they're crying about it and pulling their PR stunt and going to go away.
Now, as someone who's in the PvP community, I have to speak up here. They took 11 maps away and didn't add any. They didn't add any new maps. No new game modes. They need to have some new game modes. They need to have new maps. And we need to have a Europa map. You know, we need to have some other areas to play. I mean, there is such a small amount of Destiny. And a lot of the maps that we're playing in PvP now, we played these maps in Destiny 1. So they need to give a little love to the PvP community.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is because they focused on the story. Mm-hmm. And PvP is getting put to the side.
Yeah, I wasn't arguing that. I just wanted to expand on that point. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and I totally agree. And I see it. And honestly, I'm having better games in comp than I am in quick play, like Control and stuff like that. I have a much more fun and better quality game playing like survival and elimination and the more competitive side. And I don't really understand why, because it seems backwards to me.
Well,
to the way it used to be.
While you're talking on this subject, let's just go into it. What is your guys' experience with Stasis and Crucible? Good, bad, neutral? You don't give a shit? What do you think?
It's horrible.
It's horrible?
Okay. I call it the ice show. I'm like, okay, it's not about guns. It's the ice show.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. And what I mean by horrible, I mean, it defies the rules of how you play the game. And it for somebody like me who's not very good at it, it's like makes it almost impossible, which I think maybe is why I'm having a little better. When I go into comp, almost nobody is playing with Stasis.
Really?
Yeah, I don't come across. Maybe I've just been lucky. I mean, not that I play a ton of it, but it's mostly back to the old school supers. I mean, some people are still using Stasis, but not every single one.
I refuse to use Stasis and Crucible.
Yeah,
I'm all in.
Well, that's because you're playing a Revenant Hunter, Hazel. We all know. So let's just talk about the elephant in the room here. The Shatter Dive Revenant Hunter is just dominating in Crucible right now, especially if you know halfway how to use it. You jump in the air, you throw a grenade, and you slam it, and everybody dies. It's like a giant nuke goes off, an ice nuke.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's not like the Warlocks, how they could, use their super like for the first month of the game and then just, use the Shatterbind or Shadowbind or whatever the hell it is, and then just
Shadebinder.
Use that bullshit from across the map.
Okay, just for the record here, if you go back to the couple episodes or one or two episodes before Beyond Light came out, what's the one thing I said about Stasis? I wasn't impressed with it, and people are not going to like to be frozen in Crucible and just get shot, sit there and helpless. And I knew this. I knew this wasn't going to go over well. I just knew it wasn't.
Oh yeah,
and
I knew it too.
I'll go in with a Nova Bomb because I play more of a gun game, so that's just me.
Yeah, but you know what though? I mean, I am all in on Stasis. I mean, I like it a lot, and I understand that people don't like the PvP state and things along those lines, but it is what it is. I mean, if you don't like it, then don't play it.
Do you think Destiny's going to pull it from PvP?
Fuck no. Do you?
I don't think so.
That's like I
don't think they can.
Well, that's like telling somebody that their kid is ugly. Would you really do that? This is a labor of love that they put into this game.
And it's only expanding, right? They're going to go 2 more darkness classes in addition to these.
Exactly.
Are they going to bitch and moan when those come out too?
Of course. But
you don't know that they're going to be ice. They could be.
Well, they're not. I mean, I doubt it.
They'll be decay or something like that.
They better be.
Some derivation.
Imagine that damage over time. How is that not going to set people off? So
Well, what is it? Same thing as Thorn or
Well, don't
Thorn?
Kingsley just swears by those gauntlets, man.
put it
Thorn.
in a imagine Thorn in a sniper rifle.
Oh Lord.
I would.
Well, no, I mean, in theory, it would be in any weapon you pick up, right?
That would be brilliant.
Mm.
Imagine, oh man, I can already hear the bitching about that. But, I mean, it's just.
But so I guess the point of the PvP is everything we're talking about is really cool. But where does that come from? It all comes from the story. It's all designed to work within the story.
Yeah.
So then when you put it in the PvP world, I get it. Who would design a fast-paced shooter with everything preventing you from playing a fast-paced shooter? Right?
I know, but I mean, it's that counterintuitive. I mean, it's just counter what they've done in that. And I like it for that. They're doing something different. It's like, I don't know. I like it.
About the game and nothing annoys me. I'm already bad. I don't need to be frozen bad. You know
what?
Seriously.
Here's my analysis of Stasis in the Crucible. I honestly, Shatter Dive, I get killed maybe 2 times the whole game with it. Because here's the deal. I think the people that are complaining are the top tier players that usually shotgun and hand cannon shotgun or they play the close up game. They play the close quarters game. They're just dominating. They just run through and just mow over people. And the fact that some scrub like me can throw a grenade at them and freeze them and shoot them easily, I think that's what's really irritating them right now. I think
it's hurting their pride.
I think it's what I'm trying to say is I like this because every setup I have in Crucible is anti-shotgun. I have my long-range pulse rifle usually, and then I got a fusion rifle or a sidearm or something I can fend off someone running at me with a shotgun. And now I have another weapon. I have a stasis crystal. Even though I'm not using stasis in the Crucible, it's there. I can use it if I want. But the problem is they nerfed the stasis Shadebinder. They're only frozen for not even 2 seconds. So what good is that going to do me? Other than I can whip out my shotgun and shoot them while they're frozen for a second and a half. But my point is, people who play more of a conservative chess game, that's me. That's my style of play. It's not really affecting me as much unless you have a mob of people running around with with the Titan stasis slams and the shatter dives. I'm not really, and face it, if they're running and doing that anyway, it doesn't matter what they use. They're going to run over you anyway, especially if you're in an area by yourself trying to snipe or whatever. But I'm finding that I can actually play more comfortably at distance and stasis doesn't affect me because of my style of play. That being said, I can understand people who push forward the whole game with a shotgun, and when they run out of shotgun, they die, and guess what? They respawn with a shotgun. They push forward until they die, and then they come back and respawn till they get their shotgun again, and it's a shotgun game. I really enjoy now that I can use, and I'm going to talk about this pulse rifle next week. There's a certain long-range pulse rifle I use in Crucible now that is super strong. It reminds me of a lot of the old pulse rifle from Destiny 1. And I'm loving that I can actually play a long game now and not worry about shotgunners because shotgunners realize if I run up on this dude, it's going to be pretty obvious. He's just going to freeze me and shoot me. And the fact that there's something out there to stop shotgunners, I got to kind of admit I'm liking that. I mean, it's a little dirty, but I'm kind of liking the style of play now. So I just don't like I don't think the subclass is strong, other than as a defensive measure.
You know what? I think I figured out why I like stasis and why I like PvP and the game right now. And I think it's because I play the game for fun. I don't play it to be like, oh, hey, I'm trying to get like a 1.79 KD. I don't care. I jump in to fucking shoot people. You asked my experience with stasis and PvP and that kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, sure. There's people in there using it. I don't care. I die just as much anyway. So it doesn't really matter to me. And it's I play it, I die sometimes, and sometimes I live, and ultimately I'm just in here to have fun. I don't really care about pretty much else.
I get that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. But I mean, the point that you were bringing up, Gatr, I think is why I have better games at comp, because they tend to be the players that play exactly like you. You have one guy dedicated with like a sniper, and everybody else has scouts, and you're trying to get that first advantage from a distance, and then you're pushing together. So you're working more of it as a team, and I think it almost goes, I'm not chatting with these people, so I think it just kind of is an understanding at this point.
Yeah.
And why stasis maybe isn't as big on that side of the game.
You might be right. I don't play a ton of comp. I like comp because
I've been playing more comp than I have been control
sixes?
or anything else.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm mainly a sixes player, mainly because I want that damn pinnacle. For comp, you don't get a pinnacle drop for comp. So
for the 7 wins.
Yeah, 7 wins. To try doing that solo.
But you get
I do it all the time, every week. That's what I do. I have an easier time getting my 7 wins than I do my any Iron Banner bounty or anything like that.
Really?
I looked at that.
I was like, 7
games.
wins? I was like, really? 7 wins? Okay.
That's just 7 wins rounds, not total games.
Oh, rounds?
You don't have to win the whole. Yeah, it's just 7 rounds.
Good to know. That makes a big difference.
But I get it done in usually 2 games because we're winning out. It's per game.
That's my bad. I thought it was 7 whole games you had to win.
No, dude, that would take forever.
That's exactly my point.
Even if you won every game,
that's my
point.
That
would be 28 rounds of.
What have I been missing?
Comp.
What the hell have I been missing? I've been playing comp because I'm like 7 wins. Damn, I might as well just be playing trials.
Like, you would trials like me and you and Gru. I had fun that day. Did we get absolutely demolished? Yes, but we got wins here and there. To me, that made the wins more cool. Right? And funner. And we still got a weapon.
This guy, Hazel, he comes to me on PC and says, let's go play trials. I'm like, what? You want to play trials on PC? You do know this is PC, right? He goes, yeah, let's go have fun. So I have to apologize. I might not have conducted myself in the most professional manner when we played. I remember Chris says, dude, you got to quit yelling. I'm going to lose my shit. I'm going to have a panic attack.
He's giving me anxiety.
he says, you got to quit playing so serious, man. He says, you're going to give me a panic attack. I'm like, I'm so sorry, man. I'm very
much fun though, right?
I did have fun. I mean, when I play comp, I've just been trained to communicate. I mean, this guy's over here. This guy's over here. And it's so fast paced when you're playing comp that it's not as laid back as sixes, And sixes,
Gru probably was going to have a heart attack that day.
He hasn't talked to me since, probably. He's like, Gru, want to play some PvP? Oh, we just want to fun.
Why were we even doing it? We were grinding to get him something. Like, he's like, I've never played PvP. Like, he never even went into trials ever.
Yeah.
He hadn't even played elimination before that. We were getting him some quest or something.
It's just not my game type. It's a hyper aggressive game, and it just doesn't fit my play style. And
because you're taking it too serious. Like
I know.
Like Hazel just said, it doesn't bother me because I'm going in and having fun. Like, it didn't bother me.
Chris.
Like, I didn't.
Come on. Chris. When you get stomped and you get teabagged for the 20th time, you got to admit it starts to get to you. It
definitely gets old. That's a toxic side of it. But I mean, other than that, like, if you can get past that, like, that made that 1 or 2 wins we had, like, so cool, right?
We only played 2 cards, by the way. I thought that was pretty good for 2 cards.
Popped up. It's like golf. Yeah. It's that one good shot that brings you back. Like, all my balls, when I golf, they're all left, right, like in the woods, water, on somebody's roof, in the middle of the road, right? But there's always like that one putt or that one chip or that one perfect drive that gets me back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hazel, do you have any other things to add for Crucible? The stasis and all that good stuff, all the uproar?
I mean, I think that they do have good points with like sunsetting and weapons and the maps and
The
all of
maps
that.
is a huge thing. Like
It is. I mean, I'm getting
that
sick
really
of,
is.
yeah. I mean, I'm really getting sick of. I mean, the same like 4 maps that I keep getting, and I mean, it's. I don't understand why there is not a Europa map personally, but
Maybe they just ran out of time. I don't understand why.
ran out of time, motherfucker. They extended it by how long?
Yes, but how long was Cyberpunk in the hamper? Or in the oven?
You gotta stop going to the well on this.
8 years. 8
Getting
years.
sued. Let's just.
But this isn't Cyberpunk, man. This is Bungie, right?
All right. Yes.
Weren't you saying
Okay.
that everything Bungie does is gold?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it was COVID. There was a lot of times they're working from home, so maybe they had to just say, listen, guys, we're gonna have to take care of Crucible in the next
industry is set up to work efficiently from home. It should be a gaming company. No, I mean they literally their business is tech.
Yeah.
I mean,
but it's a lot easier to walk down 50 feet to talk to the reward team about something that's bugging you right now.
You can't click the mouse and go to Microsoft Teams?
I'm just saying, what if they're not available? What if they're busy doing something else? They don't pick up. It just
should have called in an 18-wheeler with Razer computers to the ceiling and set everybody up. And
I know.
What if they didn't? What if they couldn't reach somebody for like how long did they extend it for? Like 2 months?
No, what I'm saying is, I'm
Can
sure.
you imagine that? I couldn't
that
reach
phone line must have been.
I mean, think of the miracle that the IT team had to put 500 employees all working together.
I get it, man.
Yeah.
I get it. But my point is, what my point is,
right.
And your point makes no sense whatsoever. Is they ran out of time.
No, what I'm saying is
they couldn't reach them. They were like, oh, well,
no.
Computer for 2 months.
No, you missed my point. The fact is, maybe they had so much to do.
The long bathroom breaks.
Maybe they just said, listen, we're gonna have to take care of Crucible next season. We're just gonna have to put like a token weapon in this year. I mean this season, and we'll make it up to them on the next season. So I mean, as far as 2021 for me, I answer my own question. I think it's gonna pan out just fine. I did have one question for you guys before we move on here. The Vault of Glass is coming back this year.
Yes.
How do you think they're going to introduce that? Do you think Venus is going to be coming back, or do you think it's going to be some portal we just jump in and boom, we're there?
Portal.
Unfortunately, it's probably going to be a portal.
It better be a portal.
Why? I want Venus to come back.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Venus coming back.
That is my favorite Destiny planet.
But you're only going to fuel the fire, right? So then the fire, then it's going to turn into, thanks to just repurposing the planet and rolling it out as new content. Like, how long are you going to get away with that? Like, I super appreciate being able to go back and doing the raid, but if they do repurpose everything, that's going to be the argument, and it's justified. I mean, it's always, even beyond light, I mean, you can see the buildings look like Titan. It's Titan. They're dropping buildings, adding some snow cover over them, and it is what it is. It's a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. All right.
They're saving time by repurposing stuff. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, because of COVID. And then whatever other excuse.
But that
wasn't an excuse.
Since the beginning.
Hazel's trolling me. All right. Okay. What do you?
I missed that. I'm a little slow.
What do you think about this? Are they going to have a world's first for Vault of Glass?
No.
I don't know how they could.
I mean, we're going to crunch through this stuff pretty quick. I think they already said they had to go back and rework it because at our current power levels and our current, what we have available to us now versus when Destiny 1 came out with that game, we're much stronger now, and that it was too easy. People were breezing. I guess the playtesters are breezing through it too quickly. I really deep down inside hope they change at least one mechanic or something makes it different.
Well, they're going to have to change the whole battle with what's
Atheon?
Yeah, Atheon.
They're going to can shoot through barriers now, which he couldn't do back then, which makes him basically
a bitch. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just curious. I heard it on another podcast today, and I was like, "Wait, that's a good question, actually."
That might be something that they do is disable barrier, or make his barrier impenetrable or something, because that's the only thing that made him difficult, right? Because you could only shoot him at a certain time.
Yeah, I could see that. I was just curious. I heard it today on another podcast, and I was like, man, I could ask the guys that and see what they think. Anyway, well, anything else?
I mean, well, what other game has gone this many years?
Exactly. I mean, Destiny really is unlike any other game. I would say the closest thing I can think of to a Destiny game is World of Warcraft, because they've been out longer, even longer. I mean, they're in the teens now as far as how many years they've been out. And they somehow seem to keep their core audience still playing the game. In fact, they just redid.
But that's more fantasy based. I mean, that's a lifestyle. It's not.
But Chris, that's the closest thing I can compare it to. What other game out there do you compare Destiny to?
I would say COD.
Yeah, but COD resets it. But COD has a new game every year.
Well, so does Destiny.
No, not really.
No, they
every
don't.
year.
They never have.
No.
The only real big change was 1 to 2, and then even still,
but
really,
you still pay $60, don't you?
I'm not saying they're not getting the money the same way,
the revenue,
but they're not changing the game.
Yeah, the revenue model is fairly similar, but
I mean, well, that's what I'm saying is that's what. I mean, that to me, that would be the closest one. Well, because you're still getting a story, you're still getting.
Yeah, I get that, but it's a total fresh start to every year. My question, what I was referring to,
Battlefield's the same way.
I mean, like Luke Smith said, it's a continuing, evolving world. I'm trying to think of some other shooter out there that has been able to done that. Not Borderlands. They come out with different derivations of their game too, and it's all repetitive after that. I mean, I can't think of anything like Destiny. Even if you look at Halo, Halo had a different game every year or two. They're all separate games. So what other game is like what we're going through right now? And
PvP and that story and that were completely different. They were two totally different worlds.
Absolutely.
They weren't together at all.
No, really. There was no continuity. I didn't play a ton of Halo, but I know the storyline. But I did play Halo 4, but I don't know, man. We start getting really into the nitty gritty of what people are not happy about with Destiny. And I just keep telling myself, man, this is kind of in the gaming world, this is kind of an anomaly. There's really not another game out here like Destiny right now. I mean, maybe I'm just naive. I'm sure the fact checkers in our Discord will say, well, actually, Gatr, this game was like this and this game was like this. And yeah, you may be right.
Oh, yeah.
But as far as an action, I'm talking about an action shooter here with a story. I'm sure there's some fantasy games like I mentioned World of Warcraft. I'm sure there's other games too that, had a continuous ongoing world that evolves over so we're into 6 years now, man. Am I wrong? Am I off base here?
The only other one I could think of is Final Fantasy is continuous, no?
No.
It's a different story each time? Mm-hmm. I've lost track. It's been years since I played one.
Don't get Dez on your bad side, Chris.
Oh, no.
He's a fantasy freak, man. He loves that game.
For a while, Resident Evil kind of went in a sequence, but that was an ongoing story, but each game was separate. Like, yeah, I mean, you're right. It's not...
I'm just thinking...
But that fuels the argument again, is that, yeah, well, you say it's an evolving world, but really, how much is it really evolving?
Well, the story...
It's not.
No, the story is, we've had a continuous storyline that evolves.
Yeah, but until now, it hasn't been that common.
It hasn't moved. Yeah.
Yeah. And even at that's such a small piece in the whole thing of the actual game.
Well, it's not going to be like a campaign, like a Call of Duty campaign where they put you on rails and say, follow these 3 guys and the next baddie will be up here. You'll kill him and then there'll be some new villain. And it's always the same story. I mean, even Call of Duty campaigns. Now, I didn't play the last one.
I love them. I love all the campaigns.
I mean,
they're so cinematic.
Yeah, but they're like a movie. It's like playing a movie.
Yeah.
But
But
Destiny,
you play that once and put it away.
But Destiny's not that though. Destiny is a lore-based game. It has a lot of backstory. If you don't look into it, you won't know about it. And it does have a storyline. And yes, in the past they've broken it up. They have like so many open storylines right now. I get that there's a lot of unanswered questions, and maybe that's by design. I don't know, to keep us interested. This year it seems like they have incorporated more story, at least in my opinion.
Well, of course they have, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just beating a dead horse here, but I don't know. I just wanted to mention that before we left here. Anything else? I know I'm looking forward to doing the Vault of Glass, but I just don't know how I'm going to feel about it.
Yeah,
I
think they've done
They've
done a good job of figuring out how to tap into people's comfort zones, which I think is the only reason why people continuously come back to Destiny. They're comfortable. They come in, they do their thing for a little bit or whatever after they grind it for 2 weeks, and then, but that gets boring.
It's like anything, man. I mean, there's no way they can keep up with the people who just devour content. I mean, I saw a guy yesterday that had a 500 and something season pass rank. I'm like, geez, I thought I was crazy playing this game. I mean, there's guys out there that are just putting me to shame as far as hours put into this game.
But I mean, what game could?
Yeah,
yep, good
exactly.
point. Good point. That kind of ties in with
no game that can.
That's my point. That's my point. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, we could stick on this point for a while, but all right, guys, thanks. I appreciate your input on that. Hey, let's
still mad at you for making me do homework.
Let's lighten the load a little. Let's do some Twitter and Discord questions. We got some good ones tonight. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that won't be controversial at all.
Perfect. All right. We'll be right back. Hey gang, just a quick reminder. We now have a Destiny 2 clan, and Hazel and I invite you to be a part of it.
If you're looking to find a clan, now would be a great time to jump in and get to know some of these people that you've heard on the show. And we're not hardcore, so you don't have to worry about, us slave driving you to do raids and shit like that. Enjoying your time is basically all that we ask.
So, if you're looking for a clan out there, we have a permanent link in our Discord under our channel GDC Destiny 2 Clan, where you can find a link. Otherwise, look for Guardian Downcast or DOWN is our call sign.
We do ask that you join our Discord first, so that way we can communicate clan nights and things along those lines. And aside from that, you can lurk all you like.
Thanks very much, gang. All right, boys and girls, it's that time of the week. This is where we get our questions from our community. And we have 2 SpeakPipe questions tonight, so I figured let's start out with those first. So here is our very first SpeakPipe question of 2021.
Hi, guys and Chris. It's Laz here. I decided to send you a question via audio recording because I have no reason, just because I wanted to. So I would like to know from Chris, why are you so fancy? Why is your accent so fancy? Why are your controllers so fancy since you have 6 or 7 of them? I would love the answer to those questions. Thanks so much.
Oh, Laz. Chris, what do you think, man?
He is fancy, by the way, for the record.
Yeah, he is fancy with 2 Ys.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I was just born that way. And I don't know. I guess my collections are fancy because I work hard for the things I have and enjoy them. So if I see something I like, I get it. But took 31 years of hard work to get here, so.
Yeah, man. I hear you. I totally agree.
That's what it is.
Totally agree, man. All right, we got one here from Mr. Scumdeath. So let's see what he has to say.
Hello, Scumdeath here on New Year's Eve's Eve. My question is, what have you owned in the past that you don't own anymore, which would probably sell for the most money in these times? Love the show. Can't wait for the answers. My dad sold everything that I owned for booze, so I ain't got fuck all left. Love you all.
Good old Uncle Scum Death. Okay. Did you guys hear the question?
Yeah.
I would say my 2 motorcycles. I used to have a Harley Davidson Street Glide, black, just black on black with chrome. It was a beautiful bike, and at the time, I wasn't riding it enough to justify the payments on it, and ended up selling it back at a profit. I mean, Harleys really hold their value really well.
Yeah, they do.
And I traded it. I sold it back to the dealership and made some money on it. But I also had a Hayabusa, black on black, and it was a beautiful bike, my favorite bike ever. But I was being stupid on it, and I realized with 2 young kids, it was time to move on. My midlife crisis is over. It's time to sell it. And I sold it, made pretty good money on it. It was in good shape. It had very low miles. And those would be my 2 things that I still wish I had, actually. But yeah, I had to sell them, and they'd probably worth even, I don't know. Who knows what they'd be worth now, but that's my answer. Chris, Hazel?
I don't really tend to sell things. And if I don't want them, I usually try to pay it forward and give it to somebody, to be honest.
Okay.
But I also don't throw things away that I think have value. So, but the problem is I also don't know where half of that is. Like, it's lost somewhere, packaged up,
That would be, what is a hoarder? What is a hoarder, Alex?
No, because I don't.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, my cousin, I think, has a lot of my stuff from like my mother's times, and then everything else is neatly packed away in a few Tupperware bins. I don't have a tremendous a lot, but
yeah.
I guess I kind of miss the nostalgic. My first house was kind of special, because it's the first house you buy.
Oh yeah.
I made a ton of money off of that because I did a lot of sweat equity. And we put that money into the next house, which I, lost in the divorce. So that definitely makes me wish I had the first one back.
Sure. Yeah. That makes sense.
But I guess my first house.
Yeah,
it was small. It was built in 1894.
Wow.
It was a gingerbread house.
Oh, nice.
It was a true gingerbread house. So it was only, I think, 24 feet wide by 24 feet deep. And it had a 16-pitch roof. The roof was, you could walk out, like it looked like a wall on a roof,
Wow.
And had scroll work coming down. And the front door, the glass, the original owner was some type of reverend or a priest or something, and his name was etched into the glass.
Oh, wow.
So I remodeled the entire house, and I didn't touch that. The door didn't even work. It barely worked. But I didn't touch it on purpose.
That's
and
cool.
I left it. So yeah.
Wow.
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Top that, Hazel.
Well, yeah. I would say it's actually not really mine, but I would say my dad's his comic book collection from before he went into Vietnam.
Oh, very cool.
Because my dad had a ton of comic books. He said that he had like all these like Superman comics from like the first Superman comics and things along those lines, Batman, just all of those. And he went to Vietnam and came back. And when he did, he found out that his room got all cleaned out and his mom sold everything.
Oh, no.
So, yeah.
Okay. Good questions, guys.
Who knows what could have been in there, right?
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
That gets your wheels spinning. Like, you could probably, he could retire maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Depending on what's in the box,
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Hazel, why don't you pick one out there, man? Let's get into them.
All right. Let's go with this one. So, Sweaty Spooks. Question for Chris. What is one of your favorite or go-to coping tactics when you're feeling bummed or stressed?
Good question.
Really good question. and I don't think there's a wrong answer for whatever answer anybody has. But typically my routine is I call Sarah, my wife Sarah, and she has an amazing ability to put me at ease without actually. She's doing everything while not actually doing anything, right? That may sound confusing, but just the sound of her voice, and sometimes I don't even tell her why I am calling. Could be. And then other things are just anything that will distract me. But sometimes if I'm at work, I might be listening to a motivational speech. Because I'm a little different. Sometimes I need, and I don't know that everybody always feels this way, but sometimes I need to break down myself in order to rise myself back up, right? So that may sound odd, but when you get into mental health, you'll hear a lot of repeat words, and one of them is the process and believing in the process. So just writing it out, like even in an empty channel, sometimes will work for me, or anything to that effect will kind of snap me out of it. And it may create me to get emotional. I may cry, I may get angry, I may get upset. But once I exonerate that energy, and I don't know if that's the right word, but once I release that energy, then I feel like I can table that and put it aside, and then bring in the new energy and the new positivity or whatever I need. So that's sometimes how, if I find the right video, that works, because then after the release is over, then I take those words that I'm hearing in my headphones or, through the speakers or whatever, and start to apply those to whatever situation's in front of me or what I'm trying to get past.
Nice.
I like that.
Makes sense?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it makes perfect sense.
Hey, quick follow-up question. Any motivational speakers that you like or that you recommend?
There's a ton of them out there. There's so many that.
Maybe about a YouTube channel, maybe.
Yeah, like Ben Lyon Scott. He's really good, if I'm saying that right.
All right.
Motivation University or something.
Yeah, there's some good ones out there.
I can get them together, yeah, and
Yeah.
I can put some links up.
Yeah, we'll do that with part of our new channel opening. We'll put some stuff in there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of celebrities do a lot of really good, like
Yeah.
like at college graduations and stuff.
Yeah.
They'll come up with a motivational speech. There's some really good ones, and sometimes from people you don't really expect. And
Right.
there's a lot of really cool content out there, and it's really good to remind you that other people have gone down, have come up the same road that you may be trying.
Right.
Yeah.
I believe that there's success in all of us, and again, like which one you feed and all that. But
Good point.
Some people aren't always honest with themselves, and they kind of get stuck in a rut, and they're comfortable being comfortable. So I think like motivation speeches and stuff like that, some people push them off as being corny and all that, but sometimes that's what you need to get that drive. You need to a lot of times you need to stop listening to yourself and start talking to yourself, right? If you want to accomplish anything, if you listen to yourself so long, you'll talk yourself right. You'll listen to yourself. You'll talk yourself out of doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta close off the noise and preach to yourself. It sounds foolish, but it works.
Yeah.
I mean, really. I mean, think about what I just said. It sounds like you're like, all right, yeah, he's kind of got a few screws loose, but it really does work.
Well,
So.
my attitude is don't knock it till you try it. You know, try it for a week and see what happens.
So, and then maybe that's my better answer to a mantra, right? Stop listening to yourself. Start talking to yourself.
Yeah.
So,
good words of advice. Okay, let's keep moving here. Burning Wing AK the Moist One has a question for Chris. Why do you love me, Kissy Face? And how will you top my previous Meatloaf song choice?
It's already topped, sir.
Oh.
And you're going to regret this because I'm going to expose you a little bit.
Oh, no.
Yeah. This is it. No. People probably think we're actually not friends because, he's
you
tends to be
you guys go at each other.
Maybe.
Yeah, you guys go at each other. Yeah.
But in a good way.
Yeah.
He never attacks me personally. I never attack him personally. You know what I mean?
Right.
It may seem that way, but it's not. But no, in all seriousness, I really do consider him a good friend. He's got my telephone number. He, can text me, call me anytime he wants. But behind the scenes, he's actually a really great guy. He cares about other people. He's contacted me in the past about things he sees that he worries about other people. He's asked me to go talk to other people. He does. He just cares about people in the community and the people around him. He's a good family man. He works hard to support his family and all that. So there's a lot to admire about him.
Yeah. And he looks good in a onesie.
Yeah.
Or George.
But honestly, if he thought that he upset me, he would be more angry at himself and worried about it than I probably actually would be. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's a really great guy. He just doesn't always show it in public.
Well, we interviewed him a while back. Maybe it's time to bring him back.
Yeah.
I think it's that way for everybody. I think we need to bring back everybody.
We have a lot of folks we need to bring back just to follow up with,
But yeah, no, he's so the gig's up, man. You can't, you can't, you can't come off as a troll all the time. So
I love it. I kind of
got. Oh, and another thing.
Yeah.
He really, really loves mornings. So if everybody could send him like really nice positive picture in the morning, like, the sun waving with some sunglasses. He loves early mornings. So do me a favor. And
I got one already in mind.
Yeah, dude, every day. Just hit him up every day. Like 20 of them, 30 of them. He loves it. 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, loves it. He's a wicked morning person.
Wow.
I can't wait to make his day.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, Hazel.
Deal.
What else we got for Chris?
All right. Question from Nolsey. Question for Chris. Mics or modern?
I can't even believe this is a question.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
It's Mike's. Just
it's
the pastry shops in the North End is like the Italian part of the city.
Oh, okay.
Of Boston. So there's 2 really good like pastry shops, and they do like cannolis and all different things. So
Mike's.
Some people swear by Martin, others swear by Mike's. I'm a Mike's guy.
Okay.
It's a whole thing.
I'm here. I am in Florida. I have no clue what that means.
Right. Well, when you come up,
I will. Dude, I love Boston. I love Boston. It'll be summer before I go up there, though. Just warning you. I'm not going to go in that weather. Sorry, guys.
I don't know why.
I don't know. I've got one for Mrs. Hazelnut here. Question for Chris. Are you in a love bromance with Hazelnut and Burning Wing, a.k.a. the Moist One?
Oh.
Don't maybe Hazel has input there. I don't know.
Right? No. I respect people who treat me with respect, right? So, and sure. I think I have a good sense of reading between the lines and identifying who's really who, and I don't know. I guess I'm magnetized to people like that.
Sure.
I don't know.
All right.
How's that for an answer?
No, that was good. That was a good answer.
I would agree.
Yeah. All right, Hazel.
All right. So I want to say, I think that we're through the ones for.
Yeah, I was just looking them over. I think they're more a lot of Destiny questions, a lot of good Destiny questions tonight. Hey, why don't we ask him the one that Ikora's assassin asked last week?
Ah, yes. I like that. Okay, so this one's just for you. So, sir, let's say Bungie decides to give you a small but highly talented team to work on the future content. What would you do? What would you use it for? He gives some ideas, but what would you do with it?
Build a new game.
Oh, shit.
Aren't they doing that already?
A couple of them.
I think I swear this new IP that they're not saying much about. I really wonder if it is a story driven Destiny, like future Destiny.
Not.
No,
it's not.
Have they confirmed that?
It's a fantasy game. It's supposed to have some humor to it, and
really,
yeah, stuff like that.
So Kate 6, basically.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Deadpool.
Too soon? Damn, man, it's been like a year. Yeah. Okay. I get that.
No, it's supposed to. I think it has it's like hardcore.
Hey man, isn't this my choice of what they're doing?
Good point.
Well, it is, but no, I thought I thought that he was asking about.
You heard it here.
About
Deadpool coming 2022.
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about. I thought Gatr was asking about the.
I was talking about.
Game.
Yeah, I was talking about the new game. To be honest, yeah.
He didn't care about your game, Chris.
No. I heard his answer. He said to make a new game, and that's why I said, well, isn't Destiny already working on a new game?
Destiny already working on a new game?
Bungie.
Yeah. See, I gotta chime in so that way you don't get roasted too hard.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for that. Okay, I will. Geez. Okay, I'll just get this one out of the way. This is from good old Mitchy Slaps, or I am the one who slaps. He goes, so I'm listening to the FUD episode, and Gatr says they made the dailies 28 hours. It's 1 day and 3 hours or something like that. My question is, how many hours are in a day where you live? Oh, did I say 28 hours?
Yeah, I think you did.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I guess so. It might have, referring back to what Hazel just said. I guess that was a roast question. I don't know. I plead the fifth. There we go. All right, Hazel.
Okay. So let's see here. I love these questions.
They're good, man.
Okay. Well, we already kind of answered all thumbs. About what do you think about stasis and that?
Yeah.
So, all right, let's go with this. Uncle Scumdeath, what is your favorite thing about the Destiny mobile app? Mine is being able to grab your bounties at last, whilst waiting ages for the game to load. Ha 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 ha.
He's British. It's hard to understand the writing sometimes.
No, I was just trying to figure out how to say whilst.
Whilst.
Yeah.
Oh, there's no L. Oh, sorry,
I think it's whilst.
Whilst. Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, what do you think, man? Favorite thing about the Destiny mobile app?
That I don't use it.
How did I know you were going to say that?
Dude, I get so many apps going on and notifications and
I hear you.
I'm seriously considering unplugging everything.
I've had those days, man, where I'm just like, if someone sends me another damn notification, that's it.
Well, I find myself losing my patience lately, quickly, and I don't like that. And that usually means I'm being consumed by too much or something.
Sure.
But I'm also knocking off some personal stuff a little bit by little. So
yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's definitely on the burner though. So that might go bye-bye soon.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Hazel, what's your favorite thing?
I would say buying bounties, but I don't do that. So, I'd say the clan.
I was just gonna say that, but
Oh, yeah, that's probably the only time I ever open it. So that's a good move for me.
I use it to communicate with a clan that's not in Discord or doesn't talk through Discord, and it's very nice to do that. But the main thing I like about it's the bounties. The bounties.
No way.
Yeah, I know. It's a shock.
Say it ain't so.
I know. Okay. Man, we got a lot of good ones. We're gonna have to put some of these off to next week. There's just a lot of good ones here. I have one. I got another one from my Korra's assassin here. If you had the choice to interview either Luke Smith of Bungie or Phil Spencer of Microsoft, who would you choose? I guess that's to all of us.
Yes, to
Okay.
all of us.
What do you think, Chris?
I do appreciate Luke, but I think I would have to go with Phil because they're just making such big moves right now.
Yeah, they are.
I mean, and they're like being aggressive too. I mean, they're not even being shy about it. They're just putting it out there. They're trying to take over the world. So, I would definitely go with him.
What do you think, Hazel?
I got to go with Phil too. I mean, no offense to Luke. I mean, he's great and all, but I mean, who better to learn from than Phil Spencer? You know,
He just seems like an all-around nice guy.
I don't even care if he's a nice guy or a prick. I mean, I'd still want to, talk to him just to, hear his story, find out about him. And
Yeah.
I mean, just to learn
Basically,
from
his poop don't scare you.
No, we're pretty. Yeah,
Yeah. My mom always used to say, they put their pants on one leg at a time like you do.
exactly.
Even if somebody's putting them on for him, I mean, that's still okay.
Yeah, but Phil Spencer's attitude toward gaming is so open-minded. I love that about him.
Yeah.
And for my answer, it would have to be Phil Spencer because Luke Smith has a restraining order against me, so I can't. Last time I showed up in his house, that was the last straw. So, yeah. Or was that a dream? I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, yeah, good question. What do you got?
Are you going to answer the second part?
Second part. Oh, okay. Ikor Assassin follows up and says, speaking of interviews, would you guys ever be inclined to interview the guys from Guardian Radio? I so loved their show back when Destiny first came out. I would be ecstatic. I'm sorry, I think I already answered this in the Discord and I was supposed to. I would be freaking ecstatic because I watch this show religiously every week. They would stream it on Twitch. And I remember K-Dub would be in his closet with the snowball mic, and that's where I learned how to get one of those. And I was like, this guy's he's a baller, man. He's in his closet. And the guy was almost my age. He was a little bit younger, but he's pretty close to my age. And I always related to K-Dub, and I loved how he loved playing everything in Destiny. And Mesa Sean was still today I watch his videos on YouTube. And he has a great Mesa Army community that's all over Destiny, and he's always been the positive one. He's like me. He's like I don't want to say he's a Destiny shill, but he's always puts a positive spin on whatever's going on in the Destiny universe. He always seems to put a positive spin on stuff. And Mark Turcotte, I look up to because he is an outstanding podcaster. He has other podcasts out there right now. A lot of different. He's got his hands in all kinds of fires, but he's so professional. I would love to interview any or all of these guys. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah,
I was actually supposed to be on Guardian Radio.
Were you?
And then they canceled. Yeah.
I was heartbroken when they closed down shop because it was my light every week. It was my light, and I've mentioned it before. I have modeled our show, I keep saying our show around their show because they had segments, and I love segmented content because it just breaks up the show, where it's not just one long talking point. You can break the show up and talk about different contexts of different things. And if you don't want to listen to one part of the show, you can speed up and watch and listen to or watch the next part of the show. And another thing I learned from Mark Turcotte is he would always tell everyone what's coming up in the show. I always respected that because he respects the listener's time. He's saying, listen, this is what we're going to talk about today. So just letting you know ahead of time, So, all right.
And Sean gets really good information that's accurate too, and he tends to get it a little quicker. But
I don't know if you saw it. Oh, go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
I actually sat around a table with the three of them, and I actually got kind of interviewed at GuardianCon by them. I didn't really know it at the time what they were doing, and then so we ended up spending like a couple hours. And actually, funny, Drafty was waiting for me because he was supposed to drive me to the next where we were going next because he had he was local. So, but yeah, and I even met like Mark's wife and stuff, and really, really, really good people. They all of them truly do care about the community, and were out to make a difference and help people whenever they could. And they did a spotlight for me for Guardians MH. Back then, we were St. 14 back then. They used to do that 30-second,
the
it'd be
clan.
like a 30-second.
Talk about the clan, the clan,
the clans. They did the clan for us, but then they also did a charity. We were doing a charity stream. They did a shout out for us.
Very cool, man. I didn't know that.
So, and then Mark was like, "Oh, you want to come on?" And then they canceled like
oh no,
a couple months later. They called it quit.
I just it was a great show.
Yeah,
so sad they went.
Yeah, I that's definitely one that I listen to faithfully too.
Yeah,
Hazel,
I think they were the first, right?
They were one of the first when Bungie first came out with Destiny, and they would go over the TWAB. They go over the TWAB, talk about what's on the TWAB this week, and I just missed that. It was a great show, and I kind of feel like we're kind of picking up the torch a little bit, at least. There's a lot of other podcasts out there. I'm not disrespecting other podcasts that do the same thing, but I kind of feel like we're still carrying the torch for the guys who first started out Destiny podcasting. I don't know. I'm a little sappy, so that's just me. What do you think, Hazel?
Well, I was just going to say that, of course, I'd like to, interview them. See how they're doing, see if they're still playing and all that good stuff. Well, we know Mesa is. But I don't know if you guys noticed, but Mesa Sean put out a video too. I didn't share it.
I watched
just
it.
because I was busy laughing at it. But he was basically just like completely like in the dark, it seemed, about like everything that was going on. And I was just cracking up so much because he's like, if you know what's going on in the community right now, just let me know. He's like,
yeah, I watched that video. It was hilarious. Yeah.
I appreciated that.
Yeah. All right. What do you think? A couple more here?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So this is kind of a controversial one, but I'll go with it. Chubby Wizard, question for the show. Would you guys like Bungie to keep developing new characters, storylines like Shahan and the Crow, even though he is Aldrin and not new? Or would you like Bungie to further develop existing characters like Devrim and Shax? Don't get me wrong, I love the Crow storyline, but I feel like they are great characters and storylines already in the game that could be expanded on. Thanks, love the show, and Happy New Year.
Chris?
I think they feel like they have explained those, and I just think that not all of the community has gone deep enough to get to read like Shax and Devon's, right? I mean, they tell the story of Shax and the war and all that, and I don't know. So, I think new characters are good. It's kind of something to give a fresh start, you know. Although I'm not happy with Varric either. I don't like it. His voice drives me nuts. So
you don't
as
like
long as they're not,
You don't like the
Huh?
insect chattering? You don't like that?
no, it's annoying. So, um, maybe some better looking NPCs. Or,
Mm.
You got Eris, man.
Another Anna Bray.
yeah.
You got Elsie.
Mm,
But Elsie's not human.
mm.
Yeah, that'd be a problem. I mean, I know her exoskeleton looks pretty good, but I don't really can't really know what's going on there. I'm curious what your opinion is there, Hazel. You said it was controversial. What do you think is so controversial?
Yeah, why?
Well, because of, basically we were talking about, like story driving basically the narrative and the weapons and that. So, I mean, my answer is pretty much going to be the same that, for this question that it always is. And it's basically like, I want to see them expand on the older characters that are already in the game. And now I know that, like Chris said, that it's already in there, but in the lore, show us, take us back.
Oh, yeah. So, well, yeah, there you go. Now you're at a whole new level.
Put us at the Battle of the Six Fronts.
Damn it, Hazel.
See?
Why did I ask
What?
his opinion first? Because that's what exactly I was going to say.
No, you weren't.
No.
Steal that from me. He just nailed it.
No,
Be okay with that.
I'll give him credit. He nailed the hell out of that question. And Chubby, thank you, brother. Happy New Year to you. As usual, a great question. I think they should Disneyfy Bungie. I think just like Hazel said.
Did you say Disneyfy?
Yes, no. We're talking about the Mandalorian. I think they're, and they're going to be talking about other characters. They're breaking up Star Wars and going in. No, they're going into talking about each of these characters more in depth that we didn't know about from just watching the movie. I think they need to do that with Shax. They need to do that with Ikora. I don't know much about Ikora. I know she kicked ass with a shotgun, but other than that, you just hear, little brushes of stories. Why not go into depth on these characters that we see every day? I'm not stealing what you're saying, Hazel. You just nailed exactly what I was going to say. That's what I get for asking you to give your opinion first. But that was a damn good answer, man. That's exactly what I was thinking because, don't get me wrong. New characters and storylines are great, but you already got a rich environment and a rich world and story here. Why not expand on that? The lore's already doing it. Why not bring that to life? They have so much of a well of stories here to pull from. Don't you guys think?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They have all the lore. Just put this shit in the game.
One thing I would like to see is like all the cutscenes threaded together in order, and just played.
Someone's done that.
And filled in, filled in with to put them all together and make it into a movie almost.
Oh, I'm all for it.
That would be kind of cool.
I'm all for it, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
All right, let me finish one out here, and then we'll put these other questions, which are all fantastic, gang. We'll put those to next week's show. I've got one here from. I was gonna ask that one, but it's kind of referring. Yeah, I'll ask it. It's just from Sneaky Snake. He's one of our newest members of the Discord. Welcome, brother. A question for the show. Do you think there should be a bounty type that is higher than a weekly bounty that drops a huge amount of glimmer, or a guaranteed armor or weapon drop that is around 5 levels higher than your current power level, but you can only get one every other week?
Okay, now before we answer this question, I think we need to switch this up. So I think Chris and I need to answer for Gatr, and then Gatr needs to answer for Chris and myself.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Okay, and then we have to tell each other if we're right.
All right. Well, Gatr, what do you think?
Okay, so that's Chris and I think that Gatr would say yes. I think that he's all about the bounties. It doesn't matter what it's for. He's going to do it.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think he would say, why not every week?
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Exactly. He's like, stingy bastards.
Yeah. Yeah. And why can't I have 3 instead of 1?
We need more of these.
You don't even have to give me rewards. I'll just do them.
F you guys.
So were we right?
Yeah. You had me at bounties. You had me at bounty.
Wow. Who knew?
All right. I'm gonna answer first for Hazel, and then I'm gonna answer secondly for Chris. All right. This is what Hazel would say. Dude, I just have fun and play the game. I don't fucking worry about bounties.
Pretty much. I thought you were going to actually go with, what's a bounty?
Damn it. That was Chris's. That was going to be Chris's answer. Chris would say, Chris would say, what's a bounty? I just log in. I just log in and play and do what I want.
You really want to know my answer?
Yeah, I want to know it.
I wouldn't have time to finish it anyway.
Thank you, brother. That's the answer I was expecting.
That's great.
Good question. That was a good question, Sneaky Snake. Good for you, man.
Yes, and congratulations. I think you got into college, I believe.
Yeah, engineering school. He said, "Yeah."
Yes.
Congrats, man. That's awesome.
No small feat, right there.
Yeah, kill it, man. Get it done.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that was part of his New Year's resolution, right?
Right. It was in our New Year's resolution page. Yeah. Yeah, if you guys have a New Year's resolution, I know some people don't do them. I get that. I respect that. But post them in our New Year's resolution a channel in our Discord, and we'll pin them. And if you want us to give you some accountability, we'll check in with you later in the year and see how you're doing on it. If not, you just want to put it out there for everyone to see, that's good too. So good deal. Hey, guys, damn good questions. I mean, every week.
There's one more, I think.
There's one more?
Mm-hmm. From Jealous? Or are you going to say that one?
Oh, you want to answer that one?
I don't care.
Well, okay. Okay. Yeah. That one, sure. All right. Well, we'll finish. Hazel, let's finish with that one.
Okay. So, Jealous. Question for the show. At what age did you realize that your parents were your age at some point? And what was the realization? Happy New Year to all, and I hope everyone is doing well.
Chris, what do you think?
Well, I think the common answer for everybody will be, as soon as you have a kid, it's like, yeah, all right, now I know what they were talking about, right? But I think this is a really good question because, it's kind of a moving moment when that does happen, right? That sensation comes over and you're like, geez. And Hazel, I think we've actually talked about this, or you've talked about this anyways in the past, about how you realize, well, I'll let you answer, but but the hardest one was for me was, I touched base on early. My mother died early, so she died at the age of 38. I was only 18 at the time. Actually, technically, probably just turned 19. But so when I got past her age, like if you had asked me when I was probably 20 or 21, I would have told you I'd never make it to the age of 40. But because I was just convinced that's what was going to happen. So I guess making it to 1 year past further than my mother.
Yeah, I get that.
Yes.
I get that.
Yeah. What about you, Gatr?
This might get a little personal. I'll try not to get sappy. But almost every year, whether it's a birthday card to my dad, or this year it was a Christmas card to my dad because I had his name for the gift exchange, I always write something like to this effect. I'll go, Dad, thank you for being such an awesome dad. And now that I have kids of my own that are growing up and leaving the house, I now realize all the shit you went through to make sure we did the right thing, and we put the right foot forward. And I so thank you every day for that you gave a crap and really made sure you gave us a kick in the right direction. And now that I have kids that are, well, my son's on his own pretty much, and my daughter is only 6 months away from graduating. She'll be on her own from college. I'll be in that same situation. And I have a whole new appreciation for my dad now whenever I see him. And he's just the smartest damn guy in the world. He's so wise. And I can only hope to be a fraction of how wise he is today. So I'm not taking away from my mom, because my mom is the one who dealt with us little hellions, my brother and my sister, when we were younger, while my dad was out working. My mom had to try to keep things at the home doing well. And this probably relate more to my wife, but I see her go through all the anxiety and worrying about kids and our kids. And even if my daughter today comes home and she goes out to a friend's house, she will not go to sleep until my daughter opens that door and comes in the door, or at least texts that, I'm on my way home. So I totally get my mom's anxiety, and I absolutely respect my dad for everything he did raising me to who I am today. So not get too sappy. What do you got, Hazel? What's your answer, man?
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Kind of keeping the sentimental train going, I guess. So pretty much like shit. There's a lot of different ways that I could go with this, because there's how when you're growing up, you think that your parents know everything and that they have all the right answers and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I learned early on that my parents didn't have all the right answers, and that they were human, and that they were fallible, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the fact that I viewed them as human in a way that it led me to, kind of appreciate them more, and as we was growing up, and just like this past Christmas, when I realized hey, I usually see my family on mainly the main holidays, and aside from that, it's pretty much just maybe every now and then I'll see them again and that kind of thing. But this is the first time where I was I really need to see them. Again, I don't know how much longer I have with them, and I just want to see them and just be with them and just kind of learn from them, because it's kind of that, it's just everything that we're talking about,
Yeah. Totally get it, man.
Good answer.
Yep.
That's what I wanted to hear, because we had talked about this before, but in a little bit different pretenses. But
yeah,
you have a good way of looking at it. So you should be proud.
He's coming around.
Right?
He's coming around.
Yeah. I feel like fucking 2020 is I feel like an adult now.
Yeah.
So
someday I'm going to be a real boy.
Well, Jealous,
yeah.
Happy New Year, buddy. Thank you for checking in.
Happy New Year. Good question.
Yeah. Good.
Very good.
I knew it would hit the feels a little bit. I thought it was a good way to end it.
Good way to end it. Good point, man. Yep.
He's a good little dude.
He's more mature, well mature beyond his years. He's a good guy.
Yes. And here's hoping that if he still listens to us, that he's that school's going well, and I'm still working on the Poke Rap for you, bud.
Don't
he's
hold your
slacking on getting my Destiny content.
don't hold your breath.
Right.
Don't hold your breath, Jealous.
I don't know what you're talking about, Chris.
All right. Good. God damn. Good questions, guys. I love it. If we didn't get to your question this week, gang, you know the deal. We'll get to it next week. We used to do 2-hour question and answer sessions, and I just can't do that anymore. Sorry, guys. But if we didn't get to yours, we will definitely get to it very soon. Thank you and just keep throwing them in there, guys. Keep throwing those questions in there. We love it. This is my favorite part of the show. No disrespect, Chris. I mean, I love hearing people's stories, but it kind of gets more personable when you get to the question and answer part of the show. And I love that part.
I don't take offense. I don't even like listening to myself talk.
Do
you enjoy listening to me?
I love hearing people's stories, man. Believe me. So, all right. Well, I think it's song time, guys. So we'll do that right after this.
Hey Guardians, would you like to send us a question for the show? Well, there's 4 ways to do it.
Number 1, join our Discord server. There's a join link in our show notes. We have some great gamers in there, by the way, and you can just lurk or hang out or jump right in and talk with us. There's also a channel labeled Podcast Questions where you can type in your question for the show.
You can also email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, or we also tweet out almost every week about our upcoming show, guest, and you can respond there with your questions at guardian_d_cast is our Twitter handle.
Finally, you can send us a voicemail with your questions at speakpipe.com/guardiandowncast. Remember, that's all one word. And we'll play it on the show for you guys.
SpeakPipe is honestly my favorite thing. But anyway, thank you for all you guys do, and toddles.
And later, Guardian.
Guardian Downcast. Guardian Downcast. Yeah, Guardian Downcast. This is an intro. Guardian Downcast. Guardian. Not copyright. Guardian Downcast.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Elmer Fudd. This is the final part of our show where we pick our songs for our award-winning Guardian Downcast show playlist. Just a little sample of what the two of us and Chris here like to listen to, and we invite you to listen to it as well. Just search for Guardian Downcast show playlist on Spotify, and it's now on iTunes as well. All you guys that out there that like the Apple platform, like me. I always post a link, by the way, in our show notes. So if you're ever looking around for it, it's either in our Discord or in our show notes where you can follow along and see what we add every week. And I'll usually put some music videos of our picks every week as well in our music and TV segment of our Discord. Okay. We now currently have 516 songs, 36 hours, and 52 minutes of beautiful music representing all of us and our past guests from all of our prior episodes. So let's start with you, Chris, to add to the 2021 season. What do you got for tonight, man?
Okay, so my first one is going to be dedicated to Burning Me. And it's titled Big 10-Inch Record by Aerosmith. It's a rhythm and blues song written by Fred Wise Mantle. It was first recorded in 1952 by Bull Moose Jackson. Geez, say that 10 times fast. And released by King Records. The song was later covered by Aerosmith, which is the version I attached, and released as part of the 1975 album Toys in the Attic, one of my personal favorites.
Oh yeah, great album.
And it's been rated as one of the best double meaning songs of all time. So, you wanted me to top your Meatloaf song. There you go. You got my Big 10-Inch.
I think you just topped it.
Aerosmith is actually from the town where I grew up. Yeah, I worked on all their houses, and
that's right.
I've worked at Steven Tyler's house several times.
That's right.
Drove Joey Kramer's cars. So it was common. We would see him at the supermarket, everywhere.
Yeah,
kind of cool growing up.
I bet.
All right. And then my second song is a song I love. And I love it for all different reasons, but I thought it was very appropriate for kind of the what's going on and with everything and that sort of stuff. And it's by AOR, which is of a revolution is what it stands for. But it's an alternative rock band which first came together in Rockville, Maryland, in the basement of drummer Chris 3711. Am I saying that right? I don't know. Childhood home in 1996. It was on the entitled album Double X and was released on August 5th, 2016. And it's called I Go Through. Great song. The words are really good. I like how it kind of starts off as I, and then by the end it's we go through. So, but give it a listen.
Hey, Chris.
Cool.
Thanks for that explanation, man. Not many guests do that. They're just like, yeah, this is my song. This is why I like it. I appreciate you putting your homework.
I told you I was mad at you for making me do homework. I couldn't because you always do this long thing, and I'm like, Jesus, I can't.
You don't have to do it. That's my thing, man.
No. You set the precedent.
I like it. Hell yeah.
All
right, Hazel. What do you got?
All right. So, I'm actually have a little bit of, reasoning why I picked these songs. So like we talked about before, I've been working with Chris on this mental health project just for everybody. And so I've been in that mindset. And one of the songs that I added is Falling in Reverse, Popular Monster. Something about me is I'm a whore for, I think they call it new rock or new metal or whatever it is. It's basically like rock and rap kind of fused together. Mm-hmm. So this is that. It's got a similar vibe to like angsty sort of like Hollywood Undead kind of thing. So yeah, it's that. And this one is about basically about song about depression. And the guy's like, it's not a phase. I just want to feel okay. So
cool.
Very hardcore rock song. So, when Gator's in the shower listening to this and this like jolts him awake and he falls out of the bathtub.
I'll think of Hazel.
That song. Exactly. Yeah. Not weird at all. Then my second
the shower.
It's a kind of an inside joke, but I talk about how I'm listening to our.
Never mind. Too much information.
Okay, I'll leave it at that.
Just know that he thinks about all of us in the shower.
Yeah, roundabout way of saying that. Yep.
Well, then my song should come in real handy.
No, I'm not going to comment.
Anyway, whoa!
No, I'm not going there. Family show.
Yeah, sure. Anyway, moving on. So my second song is wow. If you listen to this, it's going to get stuck in your head. I've had it in my head all night. My daughter loves the song. It's got some questionable content to it, but don't judge me as a parent. But it's called Cheers by Black Bear and Wiz Khalifa. And this is just one of it's like the opposite of my last song. With this, it's there's a great part in here where he says, "Let's toast to bad days, turn the pain into champagne." And then he goes on from there, and it's kind of a poppy song, but it kind of puts a pep in your step, and it'll get you going.
Very cool.
Great, man.
Yeah,
music is a great motivator and a great way to get through things.
It's medicine for me. It really is.
Yeah, and even if the words don't always match up exact, change them for yourself. Change them a little bit.
It's a good idea. Yep. Okay, I'm going to start out with Zan's pick tonight because I was just listening to the Potato Thumbs podcast today. It just came out, and MF Doom passed away on Halloween, actually, and his family announced it on New Year's Eve. And so he picked the song by MF Doom, Doomsday. So thank you, Zan, for adding that. And he said it just got added to Spotify this last week, too. So Perfect. And then I'm going to pick Mrs. Gator's pick for the week. And she says this: when I was in the classroom, I always tried to introduce my kids to music that they had probably not heard before, but absolutely needed to know in order to be good humans. The Beatles were on heavy rotation, lullaby songs by Metallica, Jack Johnson to Soothe the Savage Beast, and one of my favorites, Harry Connick Jr.'s songs I've heard before. The third song in my 4-part series, Rad Songs for Cool Kids, is one of my favorites from that album, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. I know you're on pins and needles to hear my final song pick for this series, so be sure to tune in to next week's episode of Guardian Downcast. Wow, it's almost like she should be on our show. Good picks, honey. Good pick. Okay.
He did that just to make you say that. You know that, right?
Okay, my first pick. I'm picking another song from one of my all-time favorite progressive rock bands from London. This song was released back when I was in high school. I showed you their old stuff, and this is when they reinvented themselves. I mean, some of the songs I put in were from their older stuff, is what I meant by that. And this is what they did when they kind of reinvented themselves for the new decade. And it's from their album Big Generator. It's their song Shoot High, Aim Low, which is about war, but more specifically, if man can live beyond war. Really, really good piece of music. I just can't say enough about the group Yes. Just such a great group. And for my second pick, this has been a favorite song of mine for a while now, and I'm taking it from my personal Ultimate playlist. This group formed in 2004 in Irvine, California, and got signed to a record deal in 2009, in which their debut album produced 3 top charting songs. This song pick is from their latest 4th album, Mirror Master, and the song is Superposition by the group Young the Giant. It's a really good alt-rock song, alt-pop. It's kind of right there in the mainstream, but this is another song that'll get in your head if you listen to it enough. So, hey everyone, if you like what you're listening to tonight, do us a big favor, spread the word, hit that share button on your podcast app of choice, leave us a review if you would like on iTunes. We'd appreciate that very much. You know, we just hope, Hazel and I just hope that we put a little smile on your face every week, you know, with our little off-kilter Destiny podcast. We kind of go venture out into all kinds of different things, but we really appreciate everything you guys and gals out there do for us. And like I said, we hope we made your week at least a little less stressful with our little lighter take on Destiny. So thank you for that. That's a wrap, guys. We're done with episode 77. For our listeners out there, we have 76 other episodes, interviews from all kinds of gamers from our community. So look at those if you're just finding out about us. We have them all on our website, guardiandowncast.com. And yeah, you can listen to them in any order you like. I think Sweaty Spooks right now is listening to episode 72. He just commented on YouTube about it. Hey, Chris, thanks, man, for coming on tonight. It was such a pleasure. I know it's been a whole 50-something episodes since we've had you on. And it was a real treat, man. Thanks for all your insight tonight. And I know we got a little personal tonight, but I appreciate that, man.
No, like I said before, to me, all that is part of the process. And like I'm proud of myself just for, you know, not breaking down a little bit more. I mean, I did a little, but I anticipated much more. So yeah. I've been working on that. So I'm proud of myself for that.
Yeah.
But no, it's always my pleasure, man. You guys are good to me. So whatever I can ever do to help out or just be part of it.
I would say you're very good to us, man. So thank you for that.
No worries.
You've helped us all along the way here and nurtured our little podcast. So we appreciate that, dude.
No worries.
For our listeners out there, is there places people can contact you?
So it's I think Instagram and Twitter are both the same. Chris3711 _ Chris3711 Twitch TV and Discord. It's all the same.
Yeah, I've heard you've got some interesting Twitch streams sometimes. I like it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do some different. I do some different stuff once in a while.
Yeah.
Usually music and that sort of thing, and because I'm not big enough, anybody's gonna bother me about violations. So
Sure.
kind of keep that way, and is why I haven't accepted like any affiliate or anything like that. So
Yeah, sure.
just stay under the radar. It's just about coming together as a community and making a little difference. And if somebody if I ever get called on, I'm set up and can do charity stuff and that sort of thing. So
I hear you, man.
Nice.
cool.
Thank you again.
Yeah.
Hazel's going to be my streaming partner, I heard soon.
Maybe.
I would pay good money to see that.
We're gonna do a rare drop, so we're gonna do a multi-stream for his first one.
Hell yeah. I'm all in that. Hell yeah. I want to see that.
Well, what are you of course you're in that. You're gonna be on the third slot.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Why not?
I am not a streamer, man.
With a cam, everybody.
Oh, God. No.
You heard it here.
No one wants to see a crusty old guy on a camera. They probably lose their dinner. Hazel, where can people find you, good sir?
All right. Well, real quick, Chris, just want to say thank you again. You are a gentleman and a scholar both. So, and you can find me, Hazel NT, anywhere and everywhere.
Good deal. You can find me on the Twitter at Todd the Gatr. Remember, that's Gatr. You can also find us on YouTube, Steam, and PS4 as Gatr. Gatr, all caps, underscores in between, and Gatr Space GDC on Xbox. I wish I had one name for everything. It'd make life so much simpler. You can contact us on whatever podcast catcher you got out there, or just go to guardiandowncast.com. You can email us at guardiandowncast@gmail.com, and we're on Twitter at guardian_D_cast for anything you want to talk to us about. I believe our DMs are open. Or like I said, guardiandowncast.com. And we do have an Instagram that we're trying to put together, and Hazel has been in charge of that. And, hey, Chris, maybe you can send us something representing you in the Destiny universe, or personally. Maybe we can throw in our Instagram if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
And so that place on Instagram is guardian_down_cast. So check us out. And Chris, did you have anything to say before we left?
I just wanted to give Sweaty Spooks a shout out. He's getting his Twitch channel up and running. I think he actually just made affiliate, and he just got a new PC. So he's working really hard to bring the community some great content. So if you're not following him or supporting him, he's a good dude.
Yeah. Go ahead, Hazel.
I've tuned in. I've watched a couple, and it's good times.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job.
I popped in on the stream once or twice. Yeah, he's good people, man. He's a good guy. He's always positive, puts killer questions in our Discord all the time. And we have interviewed him, so we kind of know his story,
Yeah,
lives up
his
in that
heart's in the right place.
Oh yeah, he lives up in a tourist town in like super northeast Canada. That's probably under snow right now. Anyway,
I think he's actually on Prince Edward Island.
Yeah,
yeah,
not too far.
That's what I meant.
Northeast.
Yeah,
but yeah.
He's probably closer to Uncle Scumdeath than we are, so maybe. I don't know. I'll have to get on the map and look at that. Anyway.
We're getting that man to the United States someday.
Yeah, we are. Continue to be safe, everybody. Take care of one another.
Guardians are measured by their ability to come back from defeat. So stand. Fight!
Thank you all so very much for listening. And later, Guardian.
Toddles.
See ya. Yes, actually does one of my favorite songs, Owner of a Lonely Heart
Oh yeah, great song. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a really good song.
I found about Yes when I was on a high school trip in Mexico City,
Really?
and it was that album. It was that album with
No shit.
Yeah, and it was all in Spanish. I was like, okay.
I remember. The first time I heard him was I was driving around in my mother had I think it was maybe an '86 Camaro or '84 Camaro.
Yeah, that I know that body style.
Like metallic brown, right? I remember in the back seat it had big long speakers in the back.
Oh yeah, I used to have an '87.
And she used to, I mean, it was always Led Zeppelin and that sort of stuff, but Yes would come on and she'd crank it up a little bit, drive us around. And
such a damn good
I remember I remember the first time I heard it and I'm like, Mom, who is this? You know? She's like, Yes. And I'm like, what? yeah, who is it?
Who's on first?
Yeah, exactly. But those are some really good memories in that car with the music, man.
Oh,
she was so proud when she was finally able to buy because our cars were always terrible, you know. She single mom, for a long time, and that's pretty cool.
And I don't have my notes in front of me. I thought I was gonna. No,
that was brilliant. That was brilliant.
I don't know what I was thinking there. My notes are all messed up here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. 3, 2,